Moments straight to you. Key Food. The difference is key.
Long Island is feeling lucky across the board in May at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Play all month long for your chance to win a 2024 Ford Mustang or Bronco and your share of $65,000 during our Race to Drive promotion. 1 point equals 1 entry. Be here Friday, May 31st, starting at 3 p.m. when one cash winner will be announced each hour. 2 winners will be called at 7 p.m. to claim their car and cash. Discover the excitement at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. If gambling is a problem for you or someone, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 877-8-OPEN or text NY.
Let's get moving with Centers Healthcare. Centers Healthcare has a different approach.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run port. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Listen, I've been following you for a while, man. Bottom line is you get your A swing off and generate a lot of pop.
I just want to go
I'm getting
barrel.
this A to B.
Oh, man. Straight to the ball, barrel. Hitting the ball is the hardest thing to do. I'm a person from 0-0, I'm looking for spin. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look for spin, but I'm going to time up a fastball. 0-0, if you spin it.
Matchup presented by Ridgewood Savings Bank, multiplying the good for over 100 years. Quintana versus Lynn. The Mets and the Cardinals will have the starting lineups and first pitch next on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
All right, guys. Who still doesn't have a home security system to protect your family? How would you like a free doorbell camera and professional installation? Sloman's wishes they could give one to everyone, but they only have enough for the first 40 fans. So, the first 40 Mets listeners to call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. We'll get a free Sloman's doorbell camera that connects directly to your phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting a digital keypad, motion detector, 10 contacts, backup battery, and a lifetime warranty. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 Mets listeners to call, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman's Shield.
Jason Dominguez, 20 years old, and here he is in the big leagues at the age of 20. Driven out to left field and deep. Going back, Alvarez turning, looking. Welcome to the big leagues. See ya. A home run for Dominguez in his first big league at bat. First swing, much less first at bat.
This kid has a big smile on his face, and you go ahead and smile. That's Justin Verlander out there.
Well, that's a wow moment.
And he sends Allen to right, hit deep. Carroll turns, and it's gone. A line drive home run. Schwarber, a high drive into right center. He's watching. It's flying. Goodbye. Schwarber strikes again. Pure power. Alvarez launches, and Yordan Alvarez's postseason success continues. Alvarez with a response. His second of the game off the pole. Alvarez said he got that.
And some people are made for the big moments, and Yordan Alvarez is made for the big moments. He proves that time after time.
Tyler O'Neill has homered on opening day in 4 straight openers. Tyler O'Neill has just set a record by homering in 5 consecutive opening days. He's got it all to himself with a home run here tonight in Seattle.
5 opening days in a row. New record.
Brendan Donovan leads off. He's in left field. The DH Wilson Contreras bats second. Nolan Arenado hitting third, playing third. Paul Goldschmidt, who has owned Jose Quintana in his career, he bats fourth and plays first base. The catcher Ivan Herrera bats fifth. Lars Nootbaar is out in right field today, batting sixth. The young Mason Wynn, shortstop, hits seventh. Second baseman Nolan Gorman bats eighth. And Michael Ciani, the 9-man, is in center field with Lance Lynn on the mound, 36 years old. Turns 37 on May the 12th. Now for the New York Mets, who are back to 500 at 13-13, hoping to bounce right off that support line and head right back north of 500. Brandon Nimmo's in left field leading off. The shortstop Francisco Lindor bats second. First baseman Pete Alonso hits third. The designated hitter DJ Stewart is the Mets cleanup hitter, presented by ServPro, like it never even happened. Tyrone Taylor behind Stewart, batting fifth in right field. Jeff McNeil's at second base, hitting sixth. The former Cardinal center fielder Harrison Bader bats seventh. Third baseman Brett Beatty hits eighth. And Tomas Nido batting ninth, doing the catching the 13-year Major League veteran Jose Quintana, 35-year-old left-hander from Arjona in Colombia. The Cardinals today are wearing their road gray uniforms again. They've been lucky. I'm surprised if they've even washed them at this point. They've won 4 of the last 5. Cardinals in red written across the chest, the yellow bat, the 2 little cardinal birdies on each end of the bat. The hats are red. And for the Mets, in the home whites with the blue pinstripe Mets in blue script across the chest, trimmed in that bright neon orange. The NY interlocking on the front of the hat in orange. The rest of the cap and the brim in blue. Speaking of blue, a lot of blue sky today. Finally, I hope we finally made that turn into the warm weather that is the spring, into May, into the warm weather of the summer. Mets and Cardinals, when it's game time, it's Tully time. The first pitch is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original, triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew during today's game. Well, as we say in the biz, Howie, windows up. And we are happy to have the windows up today for this finale, Mets and Cardinals. My friend Howie Rose.
Yes, sir. Nothing like some fresh air in a mid-spring beautiful afternoon setting as we have here at Citi Field. Francisco Lindor, the Mets shortstop, is and has been for the last minute or so embroiled in a conversation at second base with umpire Eric Backus. The third base ump, Eric Backus. But you'll remember that Backus was the home plate ump yesterday who called Lindor out for running out of the lane, but Lindor admitted after the game it was the right call. Well, anyway, now that they've got that straightened out, Jose Quintana faces Brendan Donovan to get us started, and the first pitch is a fastball right down the middle for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Donovan batting at .230 with 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. He's hit in 4 straight after a couple of doubles yesterday. And the lefty Quintana with an 0-1, and a breaking ball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. A curveball from Quintana, who's going to throw a handful of different pitches, but as we always talk about with him, they can't be located in the middle of the plate. He just doesn't throw hard enough to blow it by people and get away with bad location. The 1-1 on the way. Fastball, that's a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike. The problem for Quintana so far has been somewhat uncharacteristic numbers of walks. 14 of them in 25 2/3 innings. But that fits right in with what the Mets pitching staff has done so far. Here's the 2-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed out in front of a curve. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. You've got several Mets pitchers, Minaya, Quintana, yesterday starter Hauser, who have just walked way too many. 2-2 pitch. Swing on a little pop fly to shallow left. Nimmo stepped in, now drips back and makes the one-hand catch for the first out. So 1 up, 1 down. Wilson Contreras, who's the designated hitter today after catching the first 2 games of this series, will be next. And we'll look at the Mets' defensive alignment. Sponsored by Orland and Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain? They've got specialists for that. Alonso at first, McNeil at second, Lindor at short, Beatty at third. Contreras 0 for 11 in his career against Quintana. And the first pitch to the right-hand batter. Swung on and driven in the air pretty deep to right center, into the gap, way back there near the wall. At one hops the wall, skims over of play into the bullpen in right field for an automatic double. So Contreras, with his first career hit against Quintana in a dozen trips, shoots one up the gap in right center that bounces on the warning track and goes into the bullpen. And the Cardinals have a runner in scoring position with 1 man out.
Well, we saw Contreras go the other way there with some pop. Remember, on Friday, he had a 445-foot home run into the second deck in left. So a lot of power to all fields for Contreras.
Now Nolan Arenado, and he too has struggled against Quintana, although he has taken him deep twice. Right-hand batter, Quintana delivers. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 1 called. It's Nimmo, Bader, Taylor left to right in the outfield. Tomas Nido catching today. Remember now, Arenado's been on base 25 consecutive games, longest such streak in the majors. Contreras leads from second with 1 out. Bouncing around, the 0-1 popped up foul outside first. That'll reach the seats in the Hyundai Club. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Arenado batting at .284, 1 home run, 13 RBIs. The 2 home runs that he's hit against Quintana are the only hits that he's had against the Mets lefty in 19 career appearances against him. So Quintana ahead here, 0-2. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, a breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The umpires this afternoon, the crew chief Laz Diaz has the plate. At first base, Nate Tomlinson. Mike Estabrook is at second, and Eric Backus, the umpire, at third. Ball and 2 strikes on Arenado. Runner at second, 1 out, just getting started. The pitch. Swing and a little pop-up, shallow center. Backpedaling McNeil, the second baseman, makes the one-hand catch. And there are 2 men away, and holding at second is Contreras. So big out there against a good run producer, but one more tough one to get in Paul Goldschmidt. And Goldschmidt has phenomenal numbers against Jose Quintana. He is 12 for 20 with 3 home runs against him. Goldschmidt 2 for 5 yesterday, has hit in 3 straight, batting just .214, but he's picked it up over the last week or so. Right-hand hitter, first pitch is a breaking ball, down and in, ball 1. Goldschmidt over his last 7 games has hit .333. So no score with Contreras at second, 2 out top of the first. Quintana at the belt, checks that runner at second, staring at him twice. Now the pitch. Fastball over the outside corner. And quickly, 0-2 to Goldschmidt. The on-deck hitter is Ivan Herrera, who's doing the catching today. And now Goldschmidt presumably takes his time out, but now he's pointing out to the pitch clock.
It's actually 1-1, not 0-2. So the scoreboard jumped the gun a little early. That first pitch curveball was down in the dirt, so it's 1-1 on Goldschmidt.
So now they reverse the scoreboard. And Quintana's delivery swung out and missed. A changeup away. And he's ahead now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fred Beatty at third base now, taking several steps further back as he is just a stride in from the outfield grass. 1-2. Now the pitch. Fastball upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals have gotten off quickly in each of the first 2 games of this series. They had a 4-0 lead early on Friday night. They scored 4 in the first inning yesterday. They're threatening here with 2 out in the first and Contreras at second. 2-2 to Goldschmidt. The pitch. Low and away with a changeup. So now a full count. And maybe Quintana, knowing that history he's had with Goldschmidt, being a little careful here, even though it's the first inning, with first base open. And Herrera, light hitting catcher, relatively speaking, on deck. payoff pitch, way inside, ball 4. He missed with a fastball, and Quintana not giving Goldschmidt too much to hit there, despite the fact that eventually he ran a full count, has put him on. And so with runners at first and second, 2 men away, Ivan Herrera will be the batter.
Sometimes pitchers will tell you that, hey, I don't want to walk guys, but you'd rather not get hurt by a guy who in your entire career you've never really figured out. And with 2 outs, you can go after the next hitter, Ivan Herrera, who's not quite as established as Paul Goldschmidt is.
Herrera 0 for his last 13, batting .212, 3 homers. They've all come at home. 9 runs batted in. Quintana's first pitch. Fastball over the inside corner. Strike 1 call. But that's a perfect example of where Quintana's got to live with that fastball. 92 miles an hour. It was about belt high, but right at the inside edge of the strike zone. 0-1 the count. Runners lead second and first. Here's the pitch. Fastball, same spot. Called strike. It's 0-2. Well, that's a good sign for Quintana that he's able to hit those spots early on. And now he's ahead. No balls, 2 strikes with a left-hand hitter, Lars Nootbaar, on deck. Contreras at second. Goldschmidt at first. Quintana ready. Right leg kick, the pitch. In the dirt. Nice block by Nito. It rolls just to his left, and Nito pounces on it, making sure those runners stay put. Think about Tomas Nito. He's a good, solid defensive catcher. Just a couple of years ago, he was a Gold Glove finalist in the National League. He's the only Met catcher to have thrown out a base stealer so far this year. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Herrera. Upstairs with a fastball. He started his hands. They check it first, but no swing according to Nate Tomlinson, nor did it look like one. And that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind not a factor right now. The flags are virtually still. This is a Norman Rockwellian afternoon at Citi Field. And time called at home plate by Herrera, just so everybody can appreciate the landscape that much longer. So Herrera settles back in, taps the bat a couple of times across home plate. Quintana comes to the belt. 2-2 pitch. Swing on a foul that pops out of the mitt of Tomas Nito, and that might have actually nicked the hitter, Ivan Herrera, on the way there himself. So he takes a couple of steps outside the box with a count still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, had him off balance with a changeup, but a changeup that was right down the middle of the plate. Quintana still looking to spot up a little bit better with the breaking stuff.
2-2 the count. Quintana ready. Now the pitch. Foul back to the screen. Ricochets right near the Mets dugout, where it 1 hops into the cap of one of the Mets players. Couldn't tell who it was down there, but it actually bounced right into the waiting cap of the Met player who had held it out, attempting to fishnet the ball. 2-2 to Herrera. Runners lead second and first, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swing on a pop fly, foul. That'll reach the seats in the Hyundai Club again to the right of home plate. And so what's happening here is that even though Quintana's a pitch away from getting out of this inning, here we go again. He's running up a high early pitch count. 23 pitches already. But he'll need to whittle that down on average to get deep into this game. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Outside with a fastball, full count. And now that means the runners will have automatic starts on 3-2 with 2 away. Contreras from second and Goldschmidt from first. Outfield is around towards right against the right-hand hitting Ivan Herrera. Alonso way off the line at first. McNeil just to the right of the bag at second. Payoff pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball, foul over by the Cardinals dugout. Knocked down by Mason Wynn. I'll check that Lars Nootbaar. Yeah, that was Wynn. Nootbaar is on deck. Wynn is in what they call the hole, meaning the hitter who follows the on-deck hitter. So the runners get set to move again on 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to the shortstop hole, backhanded by Lindor. Long throw to first, got him. And that retires the side. Lindor was right at the edge of the outfield grass and had a long throw to make, but he got it there in time, and the Cardinals come up empty in the first.
Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit. Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember.
Brett Rooker joining the show in studio. We're going to talk hitting.
What are you thinking right here?
Off the wait list 5 times faster than other hospitals, with the highest success rates in New York.
This is Dr. Angeli. We found a match.
At NYU Langone, the #1 lung transplant program in the U.S. Learn more at nyulangone.org/transplant.
We go to the last of the first inning. Jose Quintana needed 26 pitches to keep the Cardinals off the board in the first inning. And now the Mets will go after the veteran Lance Lynn, who lifetime against New York is 3-3 with a very good 2.33 earned run average. Back with the Cardinals on a one-year deal at $11 million. They have a club option on him for next year at $12 million. And Lynn makes his 6th start. He's 1-0 with a 2.81 ERA, facing Brandon Nimmo, left-hand batter. Lynn, the right-hander, ready to go with Arenado at third, way off the line. The first pitch is taken for a called strike, 0-1. Now, that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Lance Lynn. He'll average about 92 with his four-seamer, but he knows what he's doing. He's not overpowering. He'll throw an assortment of pitches, but not all that much breaking stuff. A lot of four-seamers, a lot of sinkers, some cutters. 0-1 the count. Lynn with a left leg kick delivers. Way upstairs with a fastball, and that's at 91, and the count 1-1. Nimmo went 2 for 4 yesterday. He's batting just .213, but he has 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in, and still a terrific on-base percentage because he's walked second most of National League hitters. And the 1-1 lifted foul. That'll reach the seats to the left field side, right at the back of the field level seats. And so Lynn ahead of Nimmo, a ball and 2 strikes with Francisco Lindor on deck. And Pete Alonso to follow. Cardinals play Nimmo straight away in the outfield. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. That was a fastball that was up a bit. And Nimmo swung through it, and so Lynn has his first strikeout. And that brings up Francisco Lindor. Just when it looked like Lindor was starting to turn things around, it's been a bit of a struggle as he went 0 for 5 in last night's game. 4 strikeouts, plus popping up to end the game with the bases loaded when he represented the winning run at the plate. First pitch as he bats left-handed, taken off the inside corner, a fastball. And the count 1-0 to Lindor, who's back on the interstate now with his average at $198, 4 homers, 10 runs batted in. And Lynn with a 1-0 pitch. Fastball rolled to second, waiting on it. Gorman, he's up with it, throws to first in time, 2 men away. That was the 2-seamer that Lynn was able to bear in on the hands of Francisco Lindor, and he got exactly the result he was hoping for. Weak contact and a quick out.
So Brooken is bound on that one too. That was a jam job for sure. And you're right, Lynn lives with the hard stuff, fastball, sinker, cutter, which seems simple, but it's not, because those all break in sometimes different ways.
Lynn's been around. He's facing Alonso. The first pitch Fastball low, ball one. Lance Lynn, his second go-round with the Cardinals. He broke in with them back in 2011, but he's now, including twice with the Cardinals, with his sixth major league team. So Alonso now with 200 homers. The 1-0, breaking ball over a called strike, and it's 1-1 to Pete. So now he is the fourth Met ever to reach 200 home runs as a Met. Only Ryan Howard, Aaron Judge, and Ralph Kiner got there faster than Pete. The 1-1 spins outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Took 710 games for Alonso to reach 200 career home runs. How many more will come as a Met? The question of the year. 2-1 pitch, waved at and missed. A cut fastball down and away. And the count even now, 2-2. That's really sometimes the underlying and sometimes the headline storyline for the Mets this year. Will Pete Alonso be a Met beyond this season? Owner Steve Cohen doesn't expect any real conversation to take place until the season's over. 2-2 pitch. Alonso bounces one towards short, and a few steps. Mason Wynn to grab it, fires to first in time, and that retires the side. Lance Lynn gets the Mets in order. And at the end of 1, the Cardinals nothing, the Mets nothing. On the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
Can you find Pete Alonso in this sea of Mets fans?
Alonso drives one deep left field, and it's out of here. Pete Alonso with his second home run of the day. Pete Alonso keeps on raking.
He's just very strong. And there he is.
Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run port. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
With the new Cinnabon pull-apart. At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPV LLC.
Second inning at Citi Field. Mets nothing, Cardinals nothing. Tough first inning for Quintana from a pitch count perspective. He needed 26, facing left-hand hitter Lars Nootbaar to lead off. And the first pitch fastball in for a called strike, 0-1. For whatever reason, Quintana struggled a little bit against lefties so far this year. He did get Donovan in the first inning. The 0-1 to Nootbaar, taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. But even with that fly ball out from Donovan, lefties are 7 for 19 with a couple of homers against Quintana this year. He went a long way before he gave up a home run at all to anyone last year. 1-1 pitch, fastball over a called strike. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. 1-2 to Nootbaar. Low and away with a changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of fade to that pitch away from the left-hand batter. Mason Wynn on deck. He's right-handed. And then another left-hand hitter, Nolan Gorman. Quintana pretty well straddles the pitching rubber, staring right in at Nito. Right leg kick and the 2-2 pitch. Swing on a pop foul that'll reach the seats off to the third base side downstairs. So it remains 2-2. We've got some other early scores to report on this Sunday. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact one for a great deal today. We'll get to that right after the 2-2 to Nootbaar from Quintana, which is on the way. And it's hit hard towards first, a fair ball past the diving Alonso, rolling into the right field corner. Nootbaar on his way to second. Taylor up with the ball, plays it into McNeil, and Nootbaar is standing at second with a leadoff double. So for the second straight inning, the Cardinals put a runner in scoring position, and we'll pause for station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the Mets. This is WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Howie Rose, Keith Radd with you here at Citi Field, where the Cardinals have an early threat. No score in the second. Nootbaar at second, no out. Mason Wynn, right-hand batter. A pickoff play at second, but diving in safely is Nootbaar as Lindor sneaked in to take the throw. Wynn is the number 7 hitter. Nolan Gorman and Michael Ciani, a couple of left-handed hitters, follow, which you would think would mitigate against a bunt here, but the Cardinals have sacrificed a lot. The corners are tight. The first pitch to Wynn, in for a called strike, a curve, 0-1. I mean, to my way of thinking, the bunt really wouldn't make sense here at all. But the Mets are at least suspicious with both corners tightened up a bit. 0-1 the count. Quintana deals. Swing and a foul back to the screen. A fastball in on the hands, and it's 0-2. Cardinals, though, have sacrificed more than any other team in the major leagues so far. And they've dropped down 7 successful sacrifice bunts in an era when that's kind of becoming a thing of the past. Outfield around towards right. Nootbaar leads from second, no out. The 0-2 pitch. Change up away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oakland leading Baltimore 1-0 on a Seth Brown home run. They're in the top of the second inning in Baltimore. Tell you what, the A's will probably lose 100 games, but they're not off to a miserable start. Better than expected. 1-2 pitch to Wynn. Swung out and missed. Got him with a high fastball. That's a big out for Quintana. The first out here in the second inning. Nolan Gorman, a left-hand hitter, will be next.
I like the way you put that, Howie. Good for the A's.
Well,
They'll probably lose a whole bunch of games, but at least not yet.
Not yet. You know, you got the White Sox, who are just miserable. White Sox 5-22, but they have won 2 in a row, so they've got that going for them. Here's Nolan Gorman, left-hand batter, and the first pitch reached for and popped in the air to shallow center. Bader charging in, still coming, makes the one-hand catch, 2 men away. So Quintana got a couple of things he needed there. He got the out, and he got it on the first pitch. Because, again, as you look at the pitch count, it's a little more manageable now, having thrown 26 in the first. And with 2 men away, the number 9 hitter, a slumping Michael Ciani, coming up. But it's not just the number of pitches, as managers and pitching coaches will tell you. It's the number of stressful pitches that often force a pitcher out of the game. Now, what does that mean? It means they're pitching with runners on. First pitch to Ciani, swung on and missed, 0-1. In the first inning, the Cardinals got a 1-out double from Contreras. Here, Nootbaar has led off the second with a double. He's still there with 2 men away. But some heavy lifting required. The 0-1. Swinging a broken bat looper towards third. Caught knee high on the fly by Beatty, and that retires the side. So Quintana shrugs off that leadoff double. Gets the next 3, and the Cardinals done in the second. 1 hit, 1 left. Middle of the second, Cardinals.
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember.
Who Can It Be? We're going to show you a childhood photo of a big leaguer. Can you guess who it is? The answer is Mookie Betts.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run port. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Rex Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye.
New York in order in the first inning. He faces cleanup hitter DJ Stewart to begin the second. And the first pitch, fastball is high, ball 1. DJ is the DH today, hitting an even 200 with 3 homers, 11 runs batted in, but he has walked 12 times in 60 plate appearances. The 1-0 taken on the outside corner, a fastball, 1-1. So Stewart has a .383 on base percentage. And I don't mean this disparagingly towards his predecessor, but basically Stewart profiles as a better Vogelback than Daniel Vogelback. The 1-1 fouled off of the mask of the catcher, Ivan Herrera. It's 1-2. I mean, they've both got power, right? Stewart can run into one and more than occasionally hit a home run. All the walks we told you about create a useful and relatively high on base percentage. But unlike Vogelback, Stewart can play the field. The 1-2 fastball is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he's not going to remind anybody of Roberto Clemente in right field or Keith Hernandez at first base. But he can play there, as opposed to being strictly one-dimensional, which the aforementioned Vogelback was. 2-2 curveball is outside. It's 3-2.
It's been a very unanswered question in the history of the National League Mets DH. Who is going to be that guy that the Mets go out and get that gives them some oomph at that position? Stewart trying to do it from the left side, but J.D. Martinez, who's off today, doing it from the right side. I know it's frustrated fans for a long time since the DH has been around the NL last couple of years.
3-2, the count to Stewart. Now the pitch. Down and in, ball 4. So Stewart draws another walk. That's 13 in 61 plate appearances. Buddy becomes a leadoff base runner here in the last of the second and brings up Tyrone Taylor. Miami is leading Washington 6-0 now. In the top of the second inning, Jazz Chisholm Jr. has a grand slam for the Marlins. So here is Taylor. Boy, has he ever been a nice piece for the Mets. Right-hand batter. He takes off the outside corner for ball 1. He can play anywhere in the outfield. As aggressive a hitter as he is, he's given the Mets some solid at-bats. Hitting .321 with 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. The 12th game that he started. This is the 27th the Mets have played. And the 1-0 pop foul. That'll reach the seats off to the right of home plate in the Hyundai Club. So it evens the count 1-1 with Jeff McNeil waiting on deck. Mets made an exchange of left-handed pitchers in their bullpen today. Josh Walker was sent down. Danny Young was recalled. The 1-1 on the way, foul, little roller to the backstop, and the count 1-2. So Danny Young gives the Mets another Florida Gator to go along with Pete Alonso and Harrison Bader. Mention the bullpen because as Jose Quintana has thrown a lot of early pitches, figure they'll be dipping in there in the middle innings again. 1-2 to Taylor. Fastball foul back to the screen. Well, that one was center cut for him. Taylor fouled it off. You can listen to every MLB game live, plus watch the minor leagues, MLB big innings, and available pre- and post games. No blackouts. Visit MLB.com/@bat for details. 1-2 to Taylor. No score. Mets and Cardinals. Stewart at first. No out in the second. The pitch off the outside edge. A fastball. Well, that's about as hard a pitch as you'll see Lance Lynn throw. That one at 93 miles an hour. And it evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arenado deep at third. Actually made an error yesterday. Talk about rare footage. 2-2 pitch is low and away, ball 3. So Lynn now runs a full count. DJ Stewart not a fast man at first. Taylor will strike out more than just occasionally. So when you put that in the blender, it becomes a little less than likely that Stewart would run here on 3-2, but I wouldn't rule it out. Lynn to the belt, not running, and the pitch line to left. Over comes Donovan. He dives forward, and he makes the catch. Beautiful play by Brendan Donovan, and hustling back to first is Stewart. One man away.
Well, he came diving in from deep left field, and if he had been playing normal depth, he might have just shuffled over a couple of feet and made the catch, but he's playing a little bit shy of that warning track out in left field. Taylor smoked it, but Donovan very athletic out there, former Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, he read that ball beautifully. He took one little quick initial step to his left, then came in, dove forward, and put it away. So with one out, here's McNeil, left-hand batter. First pitch, in for a called strike, the cutter, and it's 0-1. Jeff batting .244 with a homer and 7 runs batted in. He's gone 0 for his last 8. A couple of similarly struggling hitters are on deck. Harrison Bader and then Brett Beatty. The 0-1. Off the outside corner, a fastball. So 1-1 to McNeil. Harrison Bader just flipping the bat around in the on-deck circle. The weighted apparatus just flew off with his last twirl. He puts it right back on there. Here's the 1-1. Swing on a foul, straight back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to McNeil. Bader, by the way, is nowhere near the on-deck circle. He's actually on the edge of the grass to the right of the circular area, which includes and encompasses the batter's boxes and home plate. He's trying to get as close a look at Lynn as he can. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a little pop fly, shallow center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Stewart to second. He'll put the brakes on there as McNeil has kind of stuck his bat out and comes up with a base hit, the first for the Mets. And now they've got runners at first and second, 1 man out, and Harrison Bader coming up. That first Mets hit, sponsored by Legion Athletics. You don't need supplements to build muscle, lose fat, and get healthy, but the right ones can help. And so now having a bird's eye view, no pun intended, given those birds on the bat of the Cardinal uniform, Harrison Bader, he used to wear that uni, faces Lance Lynn. First pitch. Off the outside corner, a fastball, ball 1. Bader, the center fielder. Centers Healthcare would like to remind you that they're not just care, they're care that moves you. Visit centershealthcare.com. Stewart at second, McNeil at first. The 1-0 pitch. Hit hard on the ground to third, picked by Arenado, runs to third for the force, throws to first, in time for the double play to retire the side. Well, Arenado, I think, figured that it would take too long to try to go around the horn and double up Bader that way, so he went to third to get...
Left center field off the bat of Acuna. And gone.
And Ronald did what Ronald loves to do, swing at that first pitch, starting off a game.
He has power to all parts of the field. And then once he starts rolling, he runs like a NFL running back.
The wheels are back, man.
Another great start for number 13.
anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball.
Hunt a dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI and Type R car and driver January 2023 based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelly Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Well, the Cardinals have turned more double plays than any team in the National League. They just turned one to end the second inning. So the Mets and Cardinals are scoreless as we begin the third. Keith?
Jose Quintana's thrown 39 pitches over his first 2 innings, facing Brendan Donovan, the lefty. First pitch. Bunt shown, but pulled back, and the sinker's right down the middle for a called strike. Brett Beatty was in at first and then scrambled in even further than that. But Donovan didn't lay it down. Beatty goes back to about in line with the bag. Here comes the 0-1 to the leadoff hitter. Quintana misses outside of fastball. No bunt shown there by Donovan. And the count of ball and a strike. Bright sunny day in Queens this afternoon. No score, top 3. Quintana rocks, kicks, and deals the 1-1. Bounces to the plate, a slurve. Count 2 balls and a strike. Well, that slurve came in at just 79 miles an hour, sponsored by Spectrum. Get Spectrum Internet, Mobile, and TV. Restrictions apply. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. 2-1 to Donovan. Oh, chopper over the mound. No, Quintana leaps up to grab it and throws to first in time. I thought that actually bounced up and over his head, and Quintana initially tried to leap and then said, wait a second, let me try again, and he got it, reaching high over his hat. Picked it up with that black glove and stuck the throw to first for the first out.
Very subtly applauded himself, too, pounding his fist ever so slightly into the pocket of his glove a few times. Appreciates his own work. You got to like that.
Here's Wilson Contreras, the righty, in a scoreless game. First pitch swinging, lifts it in the air right field. Taylor cruising over toward the line, makes the catch, fighting the sun the whole way. 5 pitches so far for Quintana, but back to that little Donovan chopper. As soon as Quintana released the ball, he jumped and then went down into a squat and leapt even higher to make the play. It really was a nice job. And he's allowed to applaud himself. You know, if he throws over to first with a runner on, it's an E1 that moves a runner over. He could end up giving himself an unearned run, so he can applaud himself when he does the right thing. Now here's Nolan Arenado with 2 outs. First pitch to the righty. He swings, and this one is hit a mile high in the sky near second. Lindor coming over in front of McNeil, makes the catch behind the bag at second, and a very graceful third inning for Quintana, who throws 6 pitches. It's a 1-2-3 third. We're scoreless.
There it is, 2000, a milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
You can rest when it's all dark. It's too hard to sleep in this morning sun. It's too hard to sleep in this morning sun. When this hard day's done, I walk along the long green grass. I'm coming back where I belong. Where I belong. Days gone by, my oh my, I'm going home. Days gone by, I'm up on a high hill home.
Can you find Pete Alonso in this sea of Mets fans?
And Alonso drives one deep left field, and it's out of here.
430-24.
Play $10 million cash from the New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Brett Beatty leads off the bottom of the third inning at Citi Field against the St. Louis right-hander Lance Lynn, whose first pitch sinker misses high and outside. Ball one. Scoreless game as we open it up, bottom three. Brett Beatty, Tomas Nido, and then the top of the order with Brandon Nimmo. Lynn's 1-0. Beatty takes a cutter strike outside corner to even the count. Beatty's averaged down to 253. He's just had one home run from the opening series of the season against Milwaukee and 9 RBIs. 1-1. Strike over the outside corner. A changeup from Lynn. And count 1-2. And in this series specifically, Beatty is trying to acknowledge and work on those problems that have brought his average down to not the 320s in the early going, of course, down to 250. Just not felt comfortable like he had been in the beginning of the season. Here's a 1-2. That's fisted foul behind home plate. Yesterday, he and Omar Narvaez, a little early work, and sometimes you'll see, regular coach BP, or they'll get the machine out. But in this case, Beatty and Narvaez, pair of lefties, were working on directional hitting where the jugs machine was way off center. Here's a 1-2. Beatty takes a fastball high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was actually off the mound near third base. Not all the way to third base, just on the third base side of that mound. And coming in pretty hot. Beatty was saying that helps with direction and staying to left center field. 2-2. In the dirt with a slider. And count 3-2. So both Beatty and Narvaez, 2 lefties, trying to live out to left center. If a righty was working on that drill, they'd probably put that speed machine on the other side of the mound. Beatty's worked it full here to lead off the third. Now the payoff has bounced to the right side along first. There's Goldschmidt behind the bag, scoops it up, and walks the bag himself, 1 away. Hey, Mets fans, when it comes to heating efficiency, Peerless Boilers and Pavilion tankless water heaters are in a league of their own. So go to peerlessboilers.com for more info. And remember, Peerless Boilers are the world's best built boilers. So now Nido, batting in the 9th spot. He is 3 for his first 11 since joining the team in Los Angeles last weekend. 5 games for Nido. Was off yesterday to start. First pitch. That's hit in the air. Deep left field. Out toward the wall. Donovan back. He reaches out. Makes a leaping, tumbling catch along the warning track. And falls right at the base of the wall. Second time Brendan Donovan has left his feet in the last 2 innings. 2 beautiful diving catches. This one robs Nido of extra bases.
I'm waiting to see a replay because I'm not sure if that tumble was exactly his idea. I think he was going to be able to catch that ball while on his feet, and as he stretched for it, that's when he lost his balance a little bit and rolled over on the warning track. So that's a tremendous play by Brendan Donovan, punctuated by stop, drop, and roll.
So Donovan came in earlier against Tyrone Taylor and goes over and back on this one to Tomas Nido. Now Nimmo, with the bases clear. Pitch. Lynn misses high for ball 1. He has 358 out to left here at Citi Field, and then the wall cuts over to that original black wall. It's about 335, 340 that extends from the foul pole out toward that party deck. 1-0. Nimmo hits a bouncing ball up the middle. Wynn, the shortstop, gobbles it up near second. The running throw to first is in time and on time to get Nimmo. So Lynn, with a little defensive help, has a 1-2-3 third. We're scoreless, Mets and Cardinals. brought to you by Optimum with the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state and speeds up to 8 gig. Optimum, where local is big time. Top of the fourth, no score, Mets and Cards. Paul Goldschmidt leads off. First pitch. Quintana splits the plate in two with a sinker strike. And the count 0-1.
What's the hurry? Ranger game's not till late.
Well, they dropped the puck in Denver in about 2 minutes.
Oh, geez, that's right.
That's
Mr. Avalanche over here.
That's right. Here comes the 0-1 to Goldschmidt. Strike two outside corner, a sinker.
The only Colorado Avalanche fan east of the Mississippi is Keith, and the only Winnipeg Jets fan east of the Mississippi is in the next booth, Pat.
Probably the only one outside of Winnipeg in general. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt with a curve, and the count of ball and 2 strikes.
Well, don't take it personally. I'm rooting hard for the Jets because Rick Bowness, their coach, is one of the great people of all time. I had the pleasure of working with him when he coached the Islanders all those years ago, and he's just a special individual. He really is.
Well, you got to make me feel bad now?
Yes.
Here comes a 1-2 to Goldschmidt. Outside with a changeup, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, your Rangers are doing just fine, but I'm sure you never feel comfortable even up 3-0.
He doesn't know who he's talking to.
Oh, the Avs have blown plenty of 3-2, 3-1 series leads. Anyway, here's a 2-2 to Goldschmidt. He clobbers it high in the sky, but foul back into the third deck. Wow, that really got up there for Goldschmidt. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Paul.
If this answers your question, when the Rangers won the Cup in '94, they had to just control one last face-off with a second and a half left. We all envisioned every scenario of that puck winding up in the net.
2-2 to Goldschmidt. It's hit hard to short. Lindor to his right. Has it on the backhand. Plants, twists, throws. Got him. Good play by Lindor. 2 feet on the outfield grass in shallow left. He planted, twisted, and zipped it by to get Goldschmidt for the first out. Well, that was 94, at least, was 30 years ago exactly. So who knows if that means anything, but I'm sure that...
Yeah, it means it's been 30 stinking years is what it means. Not getting any younger here.
Here's Ivan Herrera, the righty. First pitch swinging, hits a high fly ball. Deep left center field. Bader over near the track, shading the sun, makes the two-hand catch just shy of the wall in left center. And Nimmo over for a little high five. Thank you very much for being there. Bader making the catch. That ball definitely didn't have enough length to get out, but went high in the sky enough where Bader had to really move over with the glove in front of his face, along with the sunglasses that he has, for the second out. Scoreless game still, top of the fourth. Quintana's pitch count settling in. He's at 52, facing Lars Nootbaar. Left on left, first pitch. That's lined in the air, left field. Nimmo in a step, makes another step to his right, and the chest-high catch. Inning over. Well, now Quintana's right on schedule. A lot of early pitches. He has settled down since, and we're still scoreless after 3.5 from Citi Field.
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Your contract in 15 minutes with a 1-hour closing. Let me work up the numbers and get back to you.
It's your journey. Own every mile. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 3.79% APR for 72 months, or up to $2,500 bonus cash. See your local Hyundai dealer today. Call 661-615-2112 for details.
We are coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Scoreless in the finale of this series. Cardinals have taken the first two. Mets looking to salvage Game 3 before hanging on to play the Cubbies here for the next 4, Monday through Thursday. Cardinals are heading to Detroit. Detroit take on the Tigers. Francisco Lindor leads off against Lance Lynn. First pitch skips up there, a slider. And the count 1-0. Fourth inning is sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Now, speaking of kids, it is a Kids Club Day at Citi Field. There's a 1-0 Lindor. Breaking ball tumbles off the plate away, and the count 2 balls and no strikes on Francisco. Mets.com/Kids Club. This is the first of what is 2 Kids Club days this year. Next one's coming up in August against the Orioles. Here's a 2-0. Lindor takes outside, ball 3. Now the Kids Club for kids up to age 12 get to hang out today. They're on the warning track before the game, enjoying the contest. 3-0 is down and in. Wow, Lindor thought it was a strike. So did I. So did Lynn. But Las Diaz said ball 4. So it's a leadoff free pass for Francisco Lindor. He's on base to lead off the 4th in a scoreless game. Well, along with the Kids Club, chance for some stuff. Kids love gifts. I love gifts. You can get a squishy plush Pete Alonso doll. That's one of the many gifts. That's certainly the biggest and fluffiest. Here's Alonso. First pitch swinging. Fastball cuts and misses for strike 1. And then, I'm a big sock junkie, I guess you could say. A Mr. and Mrs. Met pair of socks. Mr. Met on one leg. Mrs. Met on the other leg. Love that. 0-1. High and outside, a fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I will say that you generally feature among the most colorful socks in the National League.
Thank you. I'm trying to go global here soon to get the AL involved, but we're playing the Cardinals today, so it counts for the NL all the same. Spin and a throw over, and Lindor dives back in safely.
Now, where do you do your sock shopping? Because, I mean, you got to work hard to find some of those designs, but they really jump out at you.
Thank you. Today, this is a kind of a neon purple. It's the solar system. That's Saturn right there, and Jupiter. And
I'll take your word for it.
Mars.
Oh, yeah, the one with the ring.
The 1-1 fouled back to the netting, and the count 1-2.
You really should take pictures of your socks and tweet them every day. I think that should be a thing.
All right.
Keith's Sockwear of the Day. We could sell that.
We've got broadcast bites. We'll get some. We have to come up with a kitschy name for the socks. 1-2 on Alonso. Lindor breaks for second. The pitch caught on a miss. Strike 3. Throw down to second is not in time. Head first dive. Stolen base. Lindor. He's in scoring position, but Alonso strikes out on a breaking ball. And there's one away for DJ Stewart. But when you join the Kids Club, I haven't pulled these socks out of the little plastic yet, which keep them nice and clean and sharp. I was told they're not supposed to fit an adult male, and I said, well, hold on a second. I'm going to try. So I haven't done it yet, but when I do, maybe these will be the first ones I debut on that sock Twitter that we come up with.
Just save that idea till you get home.
Okay. Here's DJ Stewart. Scoreless game, bottom of the 4th. Runner at second base for the Mets with 1 out. First pitch, fastball is high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Or else you might invoke Madge's soon-to-be-published book. He's got the title. He just doesn't have the manuscript yet. Men Wearing Flip-Flops to Work and Other Things Wrong with My America by Chris Majkowski. I got that right?
The 1-0. Stewart rolls over and grounds it to first, frustrated with himself. Goldschmidt fields and steps on the bag for the out at first. Meanwhile, Lindor's at third. And there's 2 down for Tyrone Taylor. Well, I'd love to read that book, maybe in my colorful socks. Maybe somebody will write the forward to that. That'd be a good one.
Oh, I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
The Mr. and Mrs. Mets Kid Club, presented by Cohen's Children Northwell Health. You can check it out. There's monthly items coming out, so when you join the club, maybe some socks, maybe some more this year.
Tyrone Taylor batting, trying to get the Mets on the board. Runner at third, 2 outs. First pitch, bounces to the plate, chested down by the catcher Herrera, and the count 1-0. Taylor hit a sharp, sinking line drive to left field as last time. That Brendan Donovan made the first of 2 diving catches in the game. That was a beautiful one in and to his left. He robbed Nito back in the 3rd inning, back and to his right. 1-0. Taylor swings over the slider, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And by the way, that Nito shot that was kind of a rising line drive in the air to left that Donovan dove on the warning track. Lynn threw the pitch and hung his head. He thought that Nito had hit it out. And Lance Lynn has been really snake bitten by the home run ball in the last year plus. The 1-1 in the dirt. Another time that the catcher Herrera chested down and with a runner at third base to keep Lindor there. 2 balls and a strike. Lynn gave up 44 home runs last year. That's a lot of gopher balls. And then he made a start in the playoffs for the Dodgers against the Diamondbacks. He gave up 4 in one game in the playoffs. So close to 50 home runs last year. 2-1. Strike outside corner with a cutter. That's 2-2. The AL record, Bert Blyleven gave up 50 in 1986.
And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Jose Lima, not in the Hall of Fame, has the National League record, 48 of them in 2000 with Houston. Here's the 2-2. Taylor lines one in the air, left field. Donovan over again, racing, reaches up, makes another catch out of the warning track, and gives a shoulder check to the wall. Brendan Donovan has had a day out in left. He's won a Gold Glove for his work on the infield. He deserves one today for his work in the outfield. His catch strands Lindor at third, and we stay scoreless through 4. Mets and Cardinals.
Lindor at second and nobody out. 2-0 to Alonso.
And Pete cranks one deep left center field, headed toward the wall, and it's out of here. Pete Alonso with a 2-run homer, his 23rd of the year, and the Mets pull back to within a run. It's now 9-8. Well, you've been waiting for that since he came off the injured list over the weekend. Alonso with a monstrous home run into the alleyways in left center. There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family!
Use the code BASEBALL to save 20%. Because when you save a life, it gives a whole new meaning to save of the game.
Scoreless game, top 5. Jose Quintana facing the Cardinals. Shortstop Mason Wynn here, Howie.
All right, thanks, Keith. It's the bottom third of the St. Louis batting order, and the first pitch on the way from Quintana is taken inside, a curveball for ball 1. Wynn struck out his first time up, and that was after Lars Nootbaar led off the second with a double. Cardinals couldn't even advance him, much less score him. A 1-0 on the outside corner. Change up, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Wynn, who will be followed by Nolan Gorman and Michael Ciani. 2 hits for the Cardinals, 1 for the Mets, but you look at Brendan Donovan as the reason why. The 1-1 in tight, a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. He has already made 3 sensational defensive plays in this game. Brendan Donovan, the Cardinals left fielder, due to bat 4th in this inning. Now the 2-1 pitch. Wynn takes low. It's 3-1. This 5th inning is sponsored by ELEC 825. Building our future. Quintana threw 26 pitches in the first inning. He's in the 5th, and this next one will be just his 58th. 3-1 pitch. Swing on a liner to right center. Nobody's going to get that. It's in for a hit, headed towards the warning track. Cut off by Bader, who then bobbles the ball. Win on his way to second. He'll be in there standing. Probably a double, because in order to charge an error there, you would have to assume that Bader, fielding that ball cleanly, would have been able to wheel and make a really, really good throw to second base to get a pretty fast base runner. So that should be a 2-base hit for Mason Wynn. And the Cardinals have the leadoff man on once again here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Wynn, I think, is sinking 2 out of the box here. It's toward the gap, toward the alley. The only reason it's close is because Bader has such speed to go get that ball.
So here's Nolan Gorman, a left-handed batter, and that is a double. Jordan Spreckman, the official score. So here's Ciani. Now, he might bunt here. Left-hand batter, he's really struggling. Pitch on the way. Nope, full swing. He rolls it slowly to second. It'll get the runner over. McNeil up with it. Throws to first in time. Pardon me. That was Gorman for the first out. And now Ciani will be the batter.
Well, got the job done anyway, despite not bunting. But you're going to get jammed and roll one to the right side. That's the way to do it.
Now, as Gorman had been struggling, you've got Ciani, who's struggling even more, with 0 for his last 17. But now the Mets have to move the infield in. Win at third, 1 out, scoreless in the 5th. Quintana deals a bunt. Safety squeeze on. The ball barehanded, then bobbled by Beatty. He picks it up, has no play, and a run scores. Wynn comes home from third. And on at first is Michael Ciani. However they scored, it gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. It was not as though Wynn was making a hard charge for the plate before the pitch or as the pitch was delivered. He waited until contact was made by Ciani and then came hustling down the line. Beatty tried to pick it up, but in his haste never did get a grip. And the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. Sacrifice, run batted in, error on Beatty. A throw to first, a wide throw that Alonso has to rescue by reaching across his body to his right.
I just saw the replay on that. Beatty doesn't make contact with the ball until Wynn is about 15 feet from home plate. So even if Beatty got to that, it would have been amazing if he threw him out at the plate.
Ciani running, the pitch taken outside, the throw down to second, safe. And so a stolen base for Michael Ciani. And the Cardinals, who lead 1-0, now have a runner in scoring position again with 1 man out.
Well, Lindor pointed to the dugout for maybe check on that, but Carlos Mendoza did not see enough there. There might have been an overslide by Ciani into second that Lindor thought there was daylight, that he kept the tag on, but it's a stolen base, no challenge.
So, I believe they call that pitch a strike, as it turns out. That's what they've got on the board. The 0-1 to Donovan is in for a called strike. No, they did call it a ball. The scoreboard had it wrong. This last pitch was a strike. So now, properly, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Laz Diaz is holding up both hands with 1 finger showing in each to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Of course, the scoreboard still has 1-0, but it's 1-1. The pitch, swinging a hard hit, grounded to the right side. Gathered in by McNeil at his waist. Throws to second in time for the second out. And on to third goes Ciani. So 2 men away. Cardinals 1, Mets nothing. Here in the top of the 5th inning. And the number 2 hitter, Wilson Contreras, will be next. Mets baseball is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact a dealer for a great deal today or visit tryhondadealers.com. So the Cardinals, as we've told you all series, not shy about the bunt, execute a safety squeeze to take the lead. And now here's Contreras. First pitch on the outside corner. A fastball. It's 0-1. Cardinals, though, have had 4 hits in this game. 3 of them have been doubles. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a changeup away. No balls and 2 strikes.
With Beatty playing really deep at third against Contreras, who's swinging the bat well, Ciani at third has gotten off to a huge lead down the line.
0-2. Now the pitch. High with a fastball. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfield around towards right against the right-hand batter. Now Quintana steps off and chases Ciani back to third. One and two. Quintana delivers. Swing and a liner to right. Coming on is Taylor. He makes the catch at his left shoulder, moving towards the line, and that retires the side. So a run on a hit, an error, and one man left, and in the middle of the...
There it is, 2000, a milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off.
When it's game time, it's Tully time. Be sure to check out the all-new Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey Bar in center field, where you can grab a game-time mule or Tully cold brew cocktail. Tullamore Dew, official Irish whiskey of the New York Mets. Please enjoy responsibly. Well, the Cardinals now have a 1-0 lead. Jeff McNeil will lead off the last of the fifth against Lance Lynn. McNeil singled his first time up, ending an 0 for 8. And the first pitch fouled straight back and out of play into the second deck. Our fan makes a nice two-hand grab, and the count 0-1. McNeil, Bader, and Beatty due up. Just want to correct the hits total. They've got 4 on the board for the Cardinals, but that's wrong. They've only got 3 hits. They've all been doubles. The 0-1 to McNeil. That's hit in the air to right center, moving over to his left Ciani, the center fielder, and he makes the one-hand catch for the first out. They've got 1 run, 4 hits on the board for the Cardinals, but it's only 3 hits, all of them 2 base hits. Because when Ciani dropped down that successful safety squeeze bunt to get the run home, he was credited with a sacrifice and a run batted in. The error was charged to Beatty on the assumption that he probably would have had Ciani at first, and I'm not so sure about that either. Harrison Bader takes on the outside corner, a called strike, 0-1. But in any event, it was not ruled a hit, nor should it have been. So, either way, 1-0 Cardinals, and the 0-1 to Bader taken low outside, 1-1. The injury update's brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. Who are you going to use? If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com. 1-1 to Bader. Swing and a miss at a cutter. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And as far as the injury list for the Mets is concerned, some, progressive, reasonably encouraging news on Kodai Senga. He's going to throw a live BP tomorrow. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball, rolled to the right side, base hit, going into right field. Harrison Bader to first, and he holds on, and that ends an 0 for 12 for Bader. 1-out single here in the 5th, and that'll bring up Brett Beatty. You got to consider the possibility of Bader trying to steal a base here. Neither one of these teams throw anybody out. Cardinals have only thrown out one attempted base stealer so far this year, and the same for the Mets. And so now Bader, the runner at first. We'll tell you more about Senga in a moment. First pitch, Beatty takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. But anyway, Mets are looking forward to how Senga not only throws tomorrow, but how he comes through it the following day. It's about how he feels, dealing with some shoulder discomfort that's had him on the IL since the beginning of the season. The pitch back to Beatty is taken down and in. 2 balls and no strikes, a sinker. Will face some hitters will be imported from the Brooklyn Cyclones, for whom Tylor McGill pitched very well last night. A couple of scoreless innings, striking out 6. Next up for him, will pitch for Binghamton on Thursday. 2-0 to Beatty. Hit high in the air to left field, not deep, towards the line. Donovan on the run. It's in for a hit. It bounces away from Donovan, over the sidewall and into the stands for an automatic double. So Brett Beatty finally places one that Brendan Donovan couldn't get to. And now the Mets have runners at second and third on the automatic double, with Bader going to third, Beatty at second, and 1 man out.
Well, Donovan looked like he was not going to dive along the warning track to get this. Where he almost made an amazing play was trying to jump up the wall before the ball went into the seats. Had he done that, it would not have been a ground rule double, but it's already been an acrobatic day for Donovan. That was the first one that he couldn't make a play on.
So here's Nito. The Cardinals play the infield back. They'll concede 1. The first pitch swung on and missed. A fastball, 0-1. Nito, one of a legion of Mets, robbed on a great play by Donovan his last time up. Let's have Harrison Bader at third. Good speed. Beatty at second. Lynn working from the stretch, staring at Bader. The 0-1 to Nito. Swing and a miss. Going after him with a fastball again. The hardest pitch that Lynn has thrown today at 94 miles an hour. And he's used that to get ahead of Tomas Nito. No balls, 2 strikes. 1-0 Cardinals. But the Mets have a pair in scoring position here. Outfield around towards right. 0-2 to Nito. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That time, Lynn went away with a fastball, and he was able to dial that up to 95. So he reached back for some extra stuff here against Tomas Nito. 2 men away, but you know what you call that? Pitching. In an era where Lance Lynn is something of, well, contrarian. He is not the max effort with every pitcher that so many are. He kept a little something in reserve there. Got Nito. Now here's Nimmo with 2 out. First pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to second. Waiting on it. Gorman. He's got it. Throws to first in time. Side retired. A little bit of a mini clinic there by Lance Lynn. And the Mets come up empty in the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left in scoring.
And here's another one I believe went off the scoreboard. If you miss in the middle of the plate with Max Muncy, he's good. Look at that level swing right there. And he's a hitter. But what I love, watch him drop. What he does is he moves his hands and he loads into the back leg. Here you see the knob facing the catcher, which I really love because that's the power position for any power hitter.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run port. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Cardinals 1, Mets nothing as we begin the 6th inning. Mets left a couple in scoring position right after the Cardinals had taken the lead in the top of the 5th inning. So it's on to the 6th, and here's Nolan Arenado. The first pitch by Quintana is a fastball down the middle, strike one called. Well, improbably, almost impossibly, Jose Quintana's pitch count through 5 innings was 67. That is lower than an average number. He threw 26 in the first inning, though. The 0-1 in the dirt, a breaking ball. So 1-1 to Arenado, who will be followed by Goldschmidt and Herrera. Now, how do you figure that? 26 pitches in the first inning, 41 total over the next 4. The 1-1 on the way. In for a called strike, a fastball on the inner half at the top of the zone. And it's ball and 2 strikes on Arenado, who has popped up weakly twice. Once to second, once to short. The outfield deep and straight away. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing on a ground ball to short right at Lindor. A step to his left. He's up with it. Throws to first in time. 1 man away. As we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Well, no two pitch counts are the same, but both Lynn and Quintana, 2 veterans, 13 years each in the bigs, both 68 pitches through 5. We had a little bit of a feeling we might see a little throwback date today.
Well, Lynn showed you a little bit of that in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Goldschmidt. He takes on the outside corner, a curve, 0-1. But what Quintana has now been able to do is allow Jeremy Hefner and Carlos Mendoza to take a deep breath, knowing they won't overwork the bullpen. The 0-1 swung on and popped foul, going back into the seats downstairs behind the first base dugout. So it's 0-2. Scoreboard update from the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. You got a gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. As Madge says, it's not a gambling problem, it's a handicapping issue. The 0-2 to Goldschmidt. Swing and a liner to right center. On his horse, Taylor, the right fielder, reaches up and makes the catch. Almost overran that as he got a good break to his right and put the hard fly ball away for out number 2 here in the 6th inning. And it'll bring up Ivan Herrera. Cleveland 2, Atlanta nothing. Bottom 5 in Atlanta. Ben Lively has allowed just 2 hits over 4 1/3 for Cleveland. Well, here's a change. He's now allowed 4 hits, and it's 2-1 Cleveland. We're all over this. Here's Herrera, right-hand batter. He pops one in the air that's going to slice into the seats near the first base dugout foul. And it's 0-1.
A slight handicapping issue there, I guess.
I suppose. Aaron Judge, his 6th home run of the year for the Yankees. They lead the Brewers 1-0, top 4. Texas 4, Cincinnati 0, top 2 in Texas. Dolis Garcia, 2-run homer, his 8th. 0-1 to Herrera. Foul back to the screen, 0-2. Toronto 3, the Dodgers 0. Dodgers have won 6 in a row. That's in the top of the 6th in Toronto. How about the Colorado Rockies? Bad enough for them, they have to pitch at sea level. They go on the road. They're in Mexico City playing the Astros, a couple of thousand feet higher than what they are in Denver. 0-2 to Herrera. Taken upstairs, 1-2. Well, they were beaten 12-4 last night. And the ball's going to fly out there. Yordan Alvarez hit 2 home runs, each of them going 461 feet. Here's the 1-2. In tight with a fastball. 2-2 to Herrera.
Well, what I got a kick out of is with Colorado struggling. You know, they also hit at Coors Field. Sometimes it feels like nobody remembers that. But they're not hitting as well as everybody else seems to hit when they roll through Denver.
That's where they do seemingly all of their hitting. Here's the 2-2 on the way to Herrera. Swing on a line drive in the air to right center. Backing up, Bader makes the 2-hand catch. Side retired. Pretty good contact by those last 2 hitters, but Quintana gets the Cardinals in order. And in the middle of the 6th inning, it's the Cardinals.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run port. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Rex Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric.
The Cardinals lead the Mets 1-0. The Mets will have the top of their order up against Lance Lynn, who has needed only 68 pitches to get through 5 innings. So it'll be Nimmo, Lindor, and Alonso. Of course, Pete Alonso is a one-man power report sponsored by Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura on Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. That stands in contrast to the St. Louis Cardinals, who, along with the Chicago White Sox, have hit the fewest home runs of any team in the major leagues. They have both hit just 18. Alonso is just 1 home run away from having hit half that many all by himself. Here is Lindor, check that, to lead off after Nimmo had grounded out to second to end the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Lindor, and then Alonso, and then DJ Stewart here on this bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-1. Now that was a 91 mile an hour 4-seamer. That was up a bit, but when Lynn really needed that strikeout with 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, he got it up to 95 against Nito. Pitch back to Lindor is taken outside, and so that evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's just such a rarity these days to find pitchers who, well, pardon the expression, pitch rather than throw. The 1-1 rolled up the first baseline foul. 1-2, a jam job there with a fastball. I mean, look, that's not to insult today's pitchers. We're just talking about the max effort philosophy, which permeates this game from its lowest levels, way before they become professionals. The 1-2, breaking ball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You want to impress, never mind scouts, but just those travel programs and then the showcases. Got to throw it as hard as you can. 2-2, lifted foul off to the left and out of play. Downstairs, it remains 2-2.
Well, David Stearns addressed this a little bit and said that this problem has everybody's attention who has skin in the game, because there's incentives, money for those guys to throw 100.
2-2 on the way. Fouled off to the left again. Back into the seats behind third on the second deck.
If you're a front office, you're going to play by the rules. You're going to play by the rules that kind of go against what is happening to pitchers now. Oh, you gave us so-and-so innings, threw as hard as you can. Great. Next. Until those rules, roster construction, change.
2-2 pitch. Foul back by Lindor again, right to the screen. A cut fastball. You know, there's a fella sitting in the second row right in front of our booth in section 318. He's got a Noah Syndergaard jersey on. Anybody heard where Noah is? I don't think he's playing in organized baseball at all right now. Here's the 2-2 on the way to Lindor. And that takes low. 3 balls and 2 strikes, just missed with a cutter. But you think of that fabulous 5 that the Mets had, which were a group in the mid-2000s. Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler, and Matz. Payoff pitch to Lindor. Lifted high in the air to left center. It's deep. Ciani back onto the track at the wall. It's gone! Francisco Lindor takes Lance Lynn out to the opposite field just beyond the 370 mark. party deck in front of the Great Wall of Flushing. Francisco Lindor, with his 5th home run of the year, leads off the bottom of the 6th and ties this game 1-1.
Now you can hear Lindor screaming from the top of his lungs as he crosses home plate and gives Alonso a high five. This has been a miserable April for Lindor outside a couple of pops. The 2 in San Francisco earlier in the week, and then this one here, it's big. He sees it. He sees the batting average under 200. He hates it.
So, the Mets back on even terms. And what bit Lance Lynn all last year bites him again today. The home run ball, and now Alonso takes outside. A cutter, ball 1. Alonso grounded to short and struck out. Outfield just one step towards right. The 1-0 spins away. A cutter, 2-0. First Mets run of the game sponsored by Sloman's Home Security. Real security powered by real people. Sloman's. The difference is human, which is what these pitchers are, as we were discussing. They're not machines. 2-0 to Alonso, taken low. A fastball, 3-0. But just remarking about that 5-man rotation the Mets had. Not only did they make just one turn through the rotation as a group, that was it, just one. They all had Tommy John at one time or another, some more than one. 3-0 to Alonso is way outside, ball 4.
That little note nugget, you're not really going to find that anywhere if you're doing research. It's so profound to hear you say that. One turn.
That's it.
That quote-unquote legendary at the time rotation from just the stuff perspective made one turn. It's insane.
Dusty Blake, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, is on his way to the mound. Harvey came up first in 2012. Next year he started the All-Star game, and before that season was over, he had his Tommy John surgery. DeGrom had one before he pitched in the major leagues. Now, of course, he's recovering from another. Syndergaard just never was able to get it back after his Tommy John. Nats had one not long after the Mets drafted him. And Zach Wheeler missed the pennant-winning year of 2015 because he had Tommy John.
Cardinals now are getting the double barrel, the lefty Matthew Liberatore and the righty Ryan Fernandez to give Ali Marmol some options here in the 6th inning.
The Mets, having tied it on the Lindor home run, now have Alonso at first with nobody out. And DJ Stewart, who has walked and grounded the first, the batter. Arenado even with a bag and way off the line at third. First pitch. Outside and high, ball 1. Well, Lindor grinded out a pretty good at-bat there against Lance Lynn before he hit the home run. Wound up a 9-pitch at-bat. Maybe that's taken a little something out of Lynn here. The 1-0. Taken low, 2-0. Because after the home run came the walk to Alonso. And then DJ Stewart in the batter's box now finds himself ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. Down the middle. A fastball, a called strike. 2-1. That fan who's wearing the Syndergaard jersey in the second row of 318, he just looked up here with his palms outstretched. What does he think? We owe him a residual for mentioning a guy whose name we don't know wearing a Noah Syndergaard jersey? The 2-1 taken high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. You don't get Warhol time for that. You don't get 15 minutes unless your name is in there. And we're not interested in his name. It's Syndergaard's name.
No wonder he has his palms up. You give him the treatment here.
What does he think? He's got money coming? 3-1 to Stewart. Foul back to the screen. A full count. Everybody's looking for something. Oh, boy, that one nicked, that foul ball. I don't know if it was the backswing of Stewart. I was following the ball, obviously, to the backstop. Or the ball itself, but Herrera, the catcher, is down. And I'll have to see if it was the backswing that got him from DJ Stewart, but the Cardinals trainer is out there checking in on Ivan Herrera.
Yeah, we've yet to see a replay on the SNY monitor, but Herrera was basically laying on his side, which is scary, and that right hand against his right temple.
I have a feeling it was the backswing, the way they're working the head of Ivan Herrera. The way Stewart initially and instantly showed concern but still haven't seen the replay, so we can surmise that it was the backswing. Here we go now, getting a look at it. Oh, boy,
Yeah.
was it the backswing. Right side of the head. Ooh.
Drops down, left ear against the ground. His right hand covers his whole right cheek up to his ear, temple area. So he hit the deck, and now he's on his feet. He's going to stay in the game. That is toughness.
It is, and Stewart continues to talk to him as an apology. Lance Diaz, the home plate ump, just patted Herrera on the shoulder. So the foul ball went back to the screen. The barrel of the bat went to the face of Herrera. And the trainer was out there initiating concussion protocol to make sure he could answer the basic questions and make sure he had his wits about him. Good to go now on 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's popped in the air. Shallow left. Out goes Wynn. In comes Donovan. It falls in. Base hit. Glove down by Donovan to keep it in front of him. He's the left fielder, and that means Alonso can only go to second and stop there. But a bloop single for DJ Stewart. And now the Mets, who have tied the game at 1 here in the 6th, have runners at first and second. Nobody out. And let's see if there's any further work for Lance Lynn to be done here with that bullpen up. Tyrone Taylor coming up. Taylor, a right-hand batter, but that's going to be it for Lynn. So credit Lindor not only with the home run, but the long at-bat, long plate appearance. 9 pitches, then the homer, a walk, a single later. The Mets are threatening to break this 1-1 tie, and the pitching change is sponsored by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
When it comes to interiors, Hyundai models have serious game.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm in high-end real estate. I know a good interior when I see one.
Well, for starters, we offer first-class...
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit would be one to remember.
The Rangers still have 3 outs with which to work here, and they have the heart of their order. Dolis hits that one high in the air, deep out to left, a soaring blast, gone! A day redeemed for El Bombi.
And he hammers that baseball off the left field. Just incredible from Garcia in the perfect moment.
Right in the nick of time. No question about it, and that was some kind of shot.
Alonso gave up a bloop single to DJ Stewart, so Lynn has come out of the game. And slender right-hander Ryan Fernandez, who was drafted in the Rule 5 draft by the Cardinals off of the Boston Red Sox roster, will come on to do the pitching now. Lynn went 5+, allowing 5 hits to this point, 1 run, responsible for those aboard. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Tyrone Taylor, the first one to face Fernandez. First pitch is a slider line down the left field line, hooking, foul. Went off the sidewall. It's just strike 1 to Taylor, who made a bid for an extra base hit there.
Boy, is he aggressive, man. He doesn't sit back and wait for anything that we've noticed in the first couple weeks of Tyrone Taylor.
Fernandez making his 8th appearance in 9 innings. He's allowed 7 hits and 4 runs, 3 earned. But he has struck out 12, walking 4. And he can dial it up there into the upper 90s. Alonso at second, Stewart at first, no out. The pitch, swing and a dribbler foul, rolling towards Jeff McNeil to the left of the on-deck circle. And the count 0-2. If the Cardinals have a lead late today, we'll see who closes. Probably won't be Ryan Helsley, who's closed the last two. The 0-2 on the way. Swung on and fouled out of the mid of the catcher Herrera. It remains 0-2. Giovanni Gallegos has closed before. He's got one save this year. Might very well be the choice of manager Ali Marmol if they have the lead and need to go to a closer. But right now it's the Mets who are trying to take the lead here in this 1-1 game. Outfield around towards right. The 0-2 to Taylor. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Got him with a slider. So one man away, and that will bring up left-hand hitting Jeff McNeil. Mets have not had the lead at all in this series. Last time they led was en route to a laugher over the Giants on Wednesday in San Francisco, a game they would win 8-2. So here's McNeil, 1 for 2. Arenado in tight at third. The first pitch, swing and a miss at a cut fastball. And the count 0-1. That pitch was up. McNeil a little frustrated, thought he had a chance to do some damage. Takes a quick walk outside the batter's box, but settles back in with that pitch clock running. The 0-1. Swinging a high pop-up, shallow right. In comes Nootbaar, the right fielder, and in very shallow right field, he makes the catch for the second out. So Fernandez has retired the first two. Fans are responding to the Knicks score, which is placed on the video board here in the fourth quarter of their playoff game in Philadelphia. They lead the 76ers 86-81. But right here, two men away. Alonso at second, Stewart at first. And now Harrison Bader, who is 1 for 2. A 1-1 game in the home sixth. First pitch. Breaking ball hit hard to short, caught shoulder high by a crouching Mason Wynn, and that retires the side. So Fernandez restores law and order for the Cardinals, and the Mets settle for the tying run on 2 hits. No errors, 2 left.
Hi there. I'm Rob McElhenney, co-chairman of Wrexham AFC. The people of Wrexham have shared with me their love of football, and I had a great idea to share with them my love of baseball by bringing all the things I love about it to a Wrexham game, literally. You guys know what baseball is?
I'm Matt Vasgersian.
And I'm Mark Griffiths.
We're here to call the balls and strikes. Just a bit outside. Time for the ceremonial first pitch.
Let's go to Wayne, who's standing on the pitch.
You mean throwing the pitch? He's standing on the turf.
No, Wayne owns the turf.
Well, I'm confused. Let's go to the great mascot race. And they're off.
Spoiler alert, Mrs. Met wins.
Runners at first and third. He swings, and that one's fouled way into the stands, and it looks like Dad is going home with a souvenir.
Oh, he can keep the ball.
And that means it's bongo time. Is that Jimmy Kimmel?
When did we get a Jumbotron?
One thing that football and baseball do have in common is exciting endings.
Here we go. It's the bottom of the ninth.
No, 90th minute.
There are 2 away.
With seconds left.
He digs in at the plate.
Penalty spot.
Here's a swing. A walk-off home run penalty kick to end the game. Unbelievable.
Well, that's one way to share our love of baseball. Of course, you could go see the MLB World Tour, London Series. See you there.
We are going to the 7th inning. The Mets and the Cardinals are tied 1-1. And as I flip through the scorebook, looking at the Mets game by game so far this year, it has come to me that the last time a Mets starting pitcher worked into the 7th inning was last year.
Yes. It's the first time in 2024.
Jose Quintana, though, will be the man to break that schneid, as Bill Chadwick used to say, Keith.
Well, he's about to throw pitch number 80, which is even more impressive. Here comes Sanutbar, and the lefty takes low for ball one. We are squared at a run apiece in the finale of this three-game set. The Mets are staying home to take on the Cubs for 4. Cardinals are going to Michigan to play the Tigers. Here comes the 1-0 to Nootbaar, the lefty. Fouled at home plate, and he fouled it off of the inside of his front foot. Comes up hobbling. So Nootbaar stumbling around, trying to shake it off. Catches his breath. He caught a high inside curveball back in the second inning and tucked it down the right field line for a double. Outside of that double, there have been only 2 other hits for the Cardinals. But for the first 5 innings, they had a 1-0 lead. Beatty is in at third with a 1-1 count on Nootbaar. Quintana rocks and fires. Curve is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Now, Quintana had said it. Carlos Mendoza had said it. It's just Quintana had been nibbling too much. He's a 4-quadrant edges of the zone pitcher, and he was a little bit too timid. 2-1. It's rolled over to first on the ground. There's Alonso behind the bag to field and take into the bag himself. 1 away. So Quintana now 6 1/3 and counting here in the 7th inning. The first 15,000 fans at the May 11th Mets-Braves game will get a Mr. Met London telephone booth bobblehead from Coke Zero Sugar. Get your tickets at Mets.com/tickets. Mets are getting all ready for London, playing the Phillies in June this year. This is one of the giveaways to get you set. Here's Mason Wynn, first batting for the right side. First pitch is fouled third base side beyond the bag and behind Beatty. Count 0-1 on Mason Wynn. This telephone booth bobblehead, it's fairly heavy. It feels like it's at least a pound, maybe 2. That's a big red telephone booth, as you'll find even to this day in London. And Mr. Met in there on the phone, I hope, with Mrs. Met on the other line. Here comes the 0-1 to Mason Wynn. Pitch caught on a miss. Good curve. The count 0-2. Well, London telephone line. I think ELO is British, right? I think. Electric Light Orchestra. I don't know. Telephone booth. Reminds me of all that. Certainly feels musical in London with the Beatles, for sure. There comes the 0-2 to Mason Wynn. That bounces to the plate. Curveball, and the count 1-2. Well, that is May the 11th. There was also a little bit of, even though Harry Potter's not officially London, it kind of is London. We had the scarf giveaway yesterday from each of the 4 houses of Hogwarts. That was on City Connect Day as well. There's a 1-2 to Win. And right, he cuts and misses at the high fastball. Just the second strikeout today for Jose Quintana. 2 down in the 7th. So this is not only the 7th inning, the first time a Met has pitched into the 7th inning, and Quintana is facing this lineup 3rd time through, which is supposed to be the most dangerous time for any lineup against a starting pitcher. Well, in this set of Donovan on down, the Cardinals are 0 for 7. Here's the 8-hitter Nolan Gorman. He takes a sinker strike, and the count 0-1. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Mets are still going to face Ryan Fernandez, it seems. There's nobody up in the Cardinal bullpen. Quintana leans back and lunges home with the 0-1. Missed outside with a slurve. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beatty, Nito, and Nimmo, the hitters, due up against Fernandez. Matthew Liberatore had been warming up in that 6th inning. Infield around to the right. Quintana's 1-1. Just missed outside a sinker. 2 balls and a strike. That was the 90th pitch from Jose Quintana. Straddling the rubber. Turns his hips. Leans back now, the 2-1. Fouled at home plate. Gorman pulling off quickly on that slow slurve. 78-mile-an-hour pitch. Not to be confused with his curve. He actually throws a slurve, which has a little bit of a different pump to it. A little bit of a faster breaking ball than that curveball. And now a strike away from getting through 7 today against the Cardinals. Tie game 1-1. Top of the 7th. Base is clear. 2 outs. Quintana's 2-2 pitch. Grounded to first. Alonso backing up on it. Fields flips to Quintana, who covers the bag. In time, inning over. Jose Quintana, the first Met to go 7 this year. 7 innings of 1-run ball. Middle of the 7th inning, time to get up and stretch at Citi Field. Cardinals and Mets tied at 1 on the WCBS Mets radio.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
We do not mess up your name. We pride ourselves here on MLB Central.
That's right.
Right?
That's
on
right.
getting them right. We have a little game for you. Are you ready? Blower Lau had his first big league hit against Nathan Eovaldi.
Wow.
No.
Oh.
Your first knock's Eovaldi?
Off the end of the bats.
That's a nice one, though.
That's a
What were you thinking right there?
Oh, this is your first knock? That doesn't count.
Have you ever hit 1,000 for a year?
There you go.
Presented by authority of the New York Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Cardinals and Mets are tied at 1. And before we do, let's pause 10-second station ID on the WCBS Mets Radio Network.
When the Mets aren't playing, get everything you need to know every time you listen to WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York.
Alongside Howie Rose, my name is Keith Radd. Bottom of the 7th, Citi Field in Flushing. Been a beautiful day. First pitch was 68 degrees. It is 71 as we cross over the 3:30 mark in New York City. Maybe crossing fully into that warmer weather here at the end of April, where the Mets, with a win today, will get back above 500. They are 13-13. Cardinals are looking to get to 500. They are 13-14. Jose Quintana, his job and his day presumably done. The Mets really don't need him to go out there for the 8th inning. And they've already cleared up 7. Now, no matter the future for Quintana, whether he has done or he has not, he is certainly today's top dog of the game, presented by the Farmer's Dog. Real food, made fresh, delivered. And Quintana has at least delivered the Mets 7 innings. First time a Met has done that in 2024. Brett Beatty digs in against Ryan Fernandez. First pitch slider snaps in for a strike. Count 0-1 to the lefty. Beatty, Nido, Nimmo against the righty Fernandez, who pitches out of the windup here in relief. High kick, 0-1. Beatty chops one to third. Arenado fields on the backhand and from the grass throws across to get Beatty by a couple of steps. One down as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Here's Tomas Nido, who has been robbed by left fielder Brendan Donovan, who has made a couple of plays today that you circle, put a star around, whatever you want to do. He's made some big-time plays today. First pitch to Nido is outside for ball 1.
Well, Jerry Coleman's line. Late, great broadcaster for the Padres. Former war hero. Hang a star on that one, he'd say.
A 1-0 pitch. Popped up first base side and foul behind the dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Alnito, after that line out to left, struck out on a 95-mile-an-hour heater. The Mets had second and third in the fifth inning. Mets have gone 0 for 8 today and stranded 6. Here's the 1-1. Popped up foul again over the first base dugout. It's 1-2. Well, luckily for the Mets, the Cardinals have also gone 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And you could credit those numbers to the pitchers who produced those, I guess you could call them opposite results. Here comes the 1-2 to Nito. Swing and a miss. Slider down and away. So Fernandez has used that slider a couple times. He's gone 5 up and 5 down in relief of starter Lance Lynn, whose line is closed. 1 run, 5 hits, 5+ innings. He did face 3 batters in the 6th. And the run that he gave up was to the first batter he faced in the 6th. Francisco Lindor hit a game-tying home run. Pitch to Nimmo, the lefty. Fernandez hits the outside corner with a sinker at 95 for strike 1. So we're still tied 1-1. Bases clear, 2 outs. Nimmo's fourth at bat, the 0-1. Popped up third base side, fading into the crowd. No balls, 2 strikes. Adam Ottavino getting ready, so it's his 8th inning. Mets are trying to give him a lead. Infield back swung around to the right. Nimmo 0 for 3 today. The 0-2. Chop foul at the first base line. The count stays no balls and 2 strikes. Now Francisco Lindor is on deck. A little bit of a stronger day in total after an early ground out. A walk and then the home run right onto the party deck in left center. 0-2 again. Skips to the plate. Slider in the dirt. It's 1-2 on Nimmo. Now Mets on Friday just 2 runs on 8 hits. Yesterday 4 runs on 7 hits. But the theme of that game was the starting pitching and giving up some big early runs. Today a quieter game, 1-1. 1-2. Nimmo flails over a slider, strike 3. Boy, Hernandez just carved through the Mets and retired all 6 men that he faced from the end of the 6th through the 7th. We go to the 8th, still tied at 1. Mets and Cardinals.
There it is, 2000, a milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Aaron Judge in this sea of Yankee fans?
That one is drill.
A Judgian blast.
That is absolutely crushed.
Judge has done it again. Santa Maria. And it is going to be caught by Judge. How about that? So much fun to watch.
And there he is.
Smash to right center. First big league hit. And here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit.
Well, how about this? 8th inning, 1-1 game, Mets and Cardinals. Jose Quintana, 92 pitches. How he's going back out for the 8th.
Well, they've got left-handed hitters due up in Michael Ciani and Brendan Donovan. Adam Ottavino will stay ready. So here is Ciani, and the first pitch on the way is fouled off his foot. A little rolling out of the left of home plate. It's 0-1. So consider this. Jose Quintana needed 26 pitches to get out of the first inning, and the Cardinals didn't score. See a figure, oh boy, 26 pitches first inning. He'll be lucky to get through 5. He's starting the 8th, averaging 11 pitches per inning since the 0-1. Bunted hard, first base side, hugs the grass, picked up by Alonso, steps on first. That takes care of Ciani, one away. Remember, it was Ciani who executed the safety squeeze bunt, which brought home the Cardinal run in the 5th inning. Now he bunts too hard, and Alonso puts him out. One man away, back to the top of the order, and Brendan Donovan. And then you would have to imagine that Adam Ottavino will enter the game. And if Quintana can get Donovan here, Jose should get some kind of hand when he heads off. First things first, though, the pitch pulled on the ground towards first, backhanded behind the bag by Alonso, underhands to Quintana, in time, 2 men away. Here comes Carlos Mendoza. That will be it for Quintana, who was simply brilliant after that first inning. And is he ever going to hear it from the fans in a good way? Because this pitching change will bring Adam Ottavino into the game. It's brought to you by the New York Lottery. We'd love to be able to hang around long enough to hear it. But anyway, get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
When it comes to interiors, Hyundai models have serious game.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm in high-end real estate. I know a good interior when I see one.
Well, for starters, we offer first-class features like Android Auto, which you can play in the available Bose premium audio system.
Like Whole House.
Go ahead.
Hey, guess what? Quintana did not get a hand because he didn't go anywhere. Carlos Mendoza came out to the mound, and he must have just taken Quintana's temperature, saying he's okay, and Quintana's going to stay in and face Wilson Contreras with 2 out, nobody on in the top of the 8th. You know what? I don't care what happens. That's old school, and you got to love it. Every game has its own heartbeat, right? Well, here's Contreras, and the first pitch, he goes around, unable to hold up at a curve. It's 0-1. I mean, I don't care if Contreras hits at 500 feet here. This is a really good decision, I think, by Carlos Mendoza.
Well, managers can get thrown out to get a team going. They could also do something like that to get a team going.
The 0-1 on the way. Fastball missed outside, 1-1. Well, let's face it, if he doesn't get Contreras, then with Arenado on deck, then Ottavino probably comes in. But the point is, this game has a heartbeat, and it's a solid, steady one from Quintana. The 1-1, swinging a pop foul, straight back out of play, and the count 1-2.
Ottavino, by the way, was walking off that bullpen mound. He was ready to come on in, but that door closed right in front of his face.
Nothing personal, Adam.
Not yet, big guy.
1-2 to Contreras. Mets 1, Cardinals 1, 2 out, nobody on, top 8. Quintana with a 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed, strike 3. Got him with a curve. Side retired. Now the ovation for Quintana. Many in this ballpark standing as he walks off the mound towards the dugout. Nothing across. The last hit he gave up was in the 5th inning, and in the middle of the 8th, as the hand continues, the Cardinals won, the Mets won on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your...
I'm Rob McElhenney, co-chairman of Wrexham AFC. The people of Wrexham have shared with me their love of football, and I had a great idea to share with them my love of baseball by bringing all the things I love about it to a Wrexham game, literally. You guys know what baseball is?
I'm Matt Vasgersian.
And I'm Mark Griffiths.
We're here to call the balls and strikes. Just a bit outside. Time for the ceremonial first pitch.
Let's go to Wayne, who's standing on the pitch.
You mean throwing the pitch? He's standing on the turf.
No, Wayne owns the turf.
Well, I'm confused. Let's go to the great mascot race. And they're off.
Spoiler alert, Mrs. Met wins.
Runners at first and third. He swings, and that one's fouled way into the stands, and it looks like Dad is going home with a souvenir.
Oh, he can keep the ball.
And that means it's bongo time. Is that Jimmy Kimmel?
When did we get a Jumbotron?
One thing that football and baseball do have in common is exciting endings.
Here we go. It's the bottom of the 9th.
No, 90th minute.
There are 2 away.
With seconds left.
He digs in at the plate.
Penalty spot.
Here's a swing. the game. Unbelievable.
Well, that's one way to share our love of baseball. Of course, you could go see the MLB World Tour, London Series. See you there.
Ballpark expected to take his pitcher out when he went to the mound. Just listen to his pitcher, trust his eyes, as Carlos Mendoza just did, and allow Jose Quintana to get Wilson Contreras, a good right-handed hitter, to end the top of the 8th inning. In fairness, even though he doubled in the first inning, Contreras had only been 1 for 14 in his career against Quintana, who's always handled them well. But, boy, it would have been so easy to make the move there to Ottavino. Now it's the Cardinals who make a move for Giovanni Gallegos facing Francisco Lindor, who fouls the first pitch straight back, 0-1. Great couple of innings there by Ryan Fernandez. 2 perfect innings during which he struck out 3 in relief of Lance Lynn. And now Gallegos, who I guess won't necessarily be the closer for the Cardinals in this game, delivers 0-1. And Lindor takes a slider down and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. We're just assuming that Ryan Helsley would not be available to close the game for the Cardinals if they had a lead in a save situation, because Helsley had worked each of the last 2 days. There's no law against it. Here's the 1-1. Lindor takes in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just as, despite every little piece of analytic information that makes you nervous about giving a pitcher a 3rd time through the order, well, Jose Quintana was working on his 4th tour through the Cardinal batting order when he got Donovan and Contreras to end that 8th inning. 2-1 to Lindor. Check swing. He can't hold up at a slider. And the count 2-2. It's just so refreshing to see a manager say, I don't care what the numbers say. I know what my eyes are telling me.
And Quintana was jacked up as soon as that swing and miss came through for strike 3. He was pumped.
2-2 pitch. Fastball just missed inside. Gallegos wanted it, but it's a full count now to Lindor with Alonso and Stewart to follow. A run on 3 hits. They've not corrected the scoreboard for the Cardinals. A run on 5 hits for the Mets. So here's the payoff pitch. Lindor swings and chops it foul over by the Mets dugout. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show starring Pat McCarthy. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. And Adam Ottavino can put his feet back up if he wants, because now Edwin Diaz is warming up in the Mets bullpen. Whether this game is tied or the Mets have the lead. Payoff pitch. Check swing, the pitch in the dirt. Ball 4. Lindor slams the bat down in borderline ecstasy, having worked out the walk that puts the go-ahead run at first with nobody out. Good at bat there by Lindor. Remember now, he saw 9 pitches in his previous plate appearance before hitting the home run. Actually, it was on the 9th pitch from Lance Lynn to account for the Mets run. That's the 2nd walk he's worked out in this game, and it was a nice comeback from yesterday. And here's Alonso. First pitch. In the dirt. Nice block by Herrera, who fires that mask down, keeping the ball in front of him, wanting to make sure he was in position to make a play on Lindor if Francisco had bolted to second, and he did not.
He nearly threw that mask into the front row.
1-0 the count to Pete, who's grounded to short, struck out, and drawn a walk. Lindor, good speed at first, stretches out a pretty good lead. And the 1-0, Bluff doesn't go, and the pitch in the dirt, ball 2. So Gallegos starting to put himself in a little trouble here. It's his 11th appearance of the year. In 8 1/3 innings, he's allowed 9 hits and 5 runs, having now walked 4 and struck out 13. So early on, this guy's got a chunky 5.4 earned run average. And a great spot for Alonso ahead in the count 2-0. A look to first and a step off by Gallegos. That counts as 1 disengagement.
Well, Lindor in that last pitch looked over at Antoine Richardson and smiled because he bluffed, and then the ball was in the dirt. It was actually a really great pitch to run on, but it didn't go.
2-0. Lindor stretches that lead out, not running. The pitch, breaking ball over, a slider. Good pitch in a hitter's count, or what used to be anyway. Gets the slider over to make it 2-1. The second baseman, Gorman, way over towards the bag. Whole right side of the infield open with Lindor being held on. The pitch Swing and a miss, and another good slider by Gallegos. And that evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gallegos, a 32-year-old from Mexico, originally signed with the Yankees and pitched parts of a couple of seasons for them before going to the Cardinals 6 years ago. 2-2. Pitch to Alonso. Swing and a pop foul, going straight back out of play. Some scores from Food Bazaar. Stop local, eat global with Food Bazaar Supermarket, foodbazaar.com. Washington 10, Miami 7, top 6. Yanks and Brewers 4-4, bottom 5. Right here, Mets 1, Cardinals 1. Last of the 8th. Nobody out. Lindor at first. It'll be a 2-2 to Alonso. And a throw to first. Lindor dives back in, and so now Gallegos has spent both of his disengagements, meaning that Lindor is free to take some liberties here. Gallegos tries to pick him off and doesn't get him. It would be a balk. So Lindor stretches that lead out a little more now. 2-2. He's running. The pitch in the dirt. Ball 3. No throw made by Herrera, who couldn't come up with it cleanly. It's a stolen base for Francisco Lindor. And the go-ahead run is now in scoring position with nobody out. And a full count to Alonso. The second stolen base of the year for Lindor. So that walk now paying even bigger dividends. Alonso takes his timeout as Gallegos rubs the ball up. And here are the Mets now trying to get the lead for Diaz. Getting ready in the pen. 3-2 to Alonso. The outfield around towards right. Gallegos sets at the shoulder. Checks Lindor, bouncing off second. The pitch. Low, ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And the Mets have runners at first and second. Nobody out. DJ Stewart coming up.
Cardinals going to bring the infield to the mound here and calm Gallegos down. And this is as dangerous as it gets for a visiting pitcher. And now that the whole Cardinal crew is assembled, here's Dusty Blake, the pitching coach. Remember, Matthew Liberatore, the lefty, is getting loose in that bullpen. He has been for the last couple innings. If you're the pitcher, Gallegos, this is a brutal start. First and second, nobody out. And that's what the Mets have to use to their advantage here, knowing that the pitcher is the one that has to make the pitches in the inning.
And DJ Stewart, who can be aggressive, really profiles more as a very patient hitter. He's drawn a lot of walks, including one today. In fact, Stewart has now walked 13 times in 63 plate appearances. And so he'll size up the situation here in this 1-1 game. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Lindor at second. Alonso at first. The outfield is straight away. Arenado at third, even with a bag and off the line with Stewart, a left-hand batter. Gallegos ready. Here's his first pitch. Fastball over the inside corner. Strike 1 called, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Stewart has walked, grounded to first, single. Tyrone Taylor is on deck, and then Jeff McNeil. Very little breeze, ever so slightly, blowing out towards left. 0-1 to Stewart. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball to second. Could be 2, but it's bobbled, recovered, and thrown to first by Gorman to get Stewart. Both runners move up. Well, give Nolan Gorman credit for that much, that when he bobbled the ball, he didn't come completely discombobulated, stayed with it, and made the play at first. In his haste to initiate a double play, might have taken his eye off it for a split second, but now with runners at second and third, 1 out, the Cardinals have to move the infield in, and a very aggressive hitter, Tyrone Taylor, a right-hand batter, coming up.
So Taylor aggressive, infield is in, and Lindor has to realize that aggression, because what will he do here? Leading off from third is a potential go-ahead run.
McNeil on deck, 2 in scoring position. The first pitch. Low, ball 1. Ball boxed around just a little bit by the catcher, Herrera, who keeps it in front of him. And so here goes again now. An opportunity for the Mets. They have 2 in scoring position. It has been a struggle all day. And there's 1-1 game, the 1-0, and Taylor fouls it straight down at home plate. And the count even now, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mets at this moment are 0 for 9 with men in scoring position. All four infielders are up. Arenado, actually with both feet on the infield grass, now backs up a step. Lindor at third, Alonso at second, one out. 1-1 in the eighth. The pitch. Swinging a liner towards right, foul. He got out in front a little bit. Even though that ball was riding in on him, he made pretty good contact, but he just couldn't straighten that out because he couldn't extend his arms. And the count, 1-2 now on Tyrone Taylor. And again, an aggressive hitter. That puts a lot of pressure on the catcher, Gallegos, as well. 1-2. Gallegos sets. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 3. Herrera, another good play to keep it in front of him. Check the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. At first base open here. There's room. Try to make Taylor go after a bad ball. McNeil on deck as a left-hand hitter. Outfield around towards right. All 4 infielders in. 2-2 to Tyrone Taylor. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball pulled on the ground to short. Picked up by Wynn. Fires to the plate. Head first slide. Lindor is out at the plate. Going to third is Alonso. And on at first via a fielder's choice is Tyrone Taylor. He hit it hard, but with the infield in, the Cardinals got what they wanted, an atom ball. And Wynn played it perfectly, made a strong throw to the plate, and Lindor, despite the fact the catcher's the one wearing all that equipment, went in head first, and the tag was made by Herrera. 2 men away, and now the manager of the Cardinals, Ali Marmol, is going to go to the mound and bring his left-hander, Liberatore, into the game. So now first and third, 2 men out. The Mets and Cardinals still tied at 1 here in the 8th inning. And this pitching change is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
When it comes to interiors, Hyundai models have serious game.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm in high-end real estate.
There it goes. Right field. This ball is history. 500 for...
Here's another look.
There it goes. Right field. This ball is history.
Do you have a guess?
500 for... There it goes. Right field. This ball is history. 500 for Griffey. And the great baseball fans of St. Louis celebrate along with Ken Griffey Jr. and his family, teammates, and the city of Cincinnati.
How about that hug on Father's Day? What a special moment for the Griffey family.
And here's another one I believe went off the scoreboard. If you miss in the middle of the plate with Max Muncy, he's good. Look at that level swing right there. And he's a hitter. But what I love, watch him drop. What he does is he moves his hands and he loads into the back leg. Here you see the knob facing the catcher, which I really love because that's the power position for any power.
Visit a store to explore colors, features, and warranty details and learn about the technologies developed to help protect your roof from wind and blue-green algae staining.
Timberline is America's #1 selling shingle brand, delivering the look homeowners love.
Find the complete GAF roofing system at all Riverhead Building Supply locations and at rbscorp.com.
Lefty Matthew Liberatore enters the game for the Cardinals. The Mets and the Cardinals are tied 1-1 with 2 out, and now runners at first and third here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Liberatore has been very good. This is his 10th appearance. He's not allowed to run his last 5 times out, and he's facing Jeff McNeil. Runners at the corners, 2 out. First pitch on the way. Can't hold his swing. The pitch on the outside corner anyway. A slider for strike 1. So it's Alonso at third and Taylor at first after Lindor was put out at the plate on the fielder's choice, and he went in hard on the catcher Herrera. Presumably, Francisco's all right. The 0-1 pitch. McNeil shoots it foul down the left field side into the seats downstairs. Liberatore quickly is ahead 0-2. River torn 11 third innings, has allowed 7 hits and 3 runs, 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. Harrison Bader, a right-hand hitter on deck. 0-2 to McNeil. Here's the pitch. Little bit low with a cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mets 0 for 10 today with men in scoring position. McNeil with a chance here. Behind in the count, 1-2. Here's the pitch. Taylor runs. Ground ball hit to second. Big hop for Gorman. He's got it and throws to first in time to retire the side. And the Mets had runners at first and second. Nobody out, but could not score. No runs, no hits. 2 left, and at the end of 8.
Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit.
Well, in a game where the big hit has been elusive to both teams. The Mets and Cardinals fittingly are tied 1-1 going to the 9th inning. The Cardinals are 0 for 8 with men in scoring position. The Mets are 0 for 11. And now Edwin Diaz will come on to pitch for the Mets, taking over for Jose Quintana, who after throwing 26 pitches in the first inning, wound up throwing 99 for the game. So over the ensuing 7 innings, he needed just 73 pitches. Nolan Arenado leads off. Diaz's first pitch in for a called strike. 0-1. 86-mile-an-hour slider there from Diaz, who has not had a whole lot of work. The 0-1 pop foul straight back this way and out of play downstairs. So quickly it's 0-2. Over the last nearly 2 weeks, over the last 13 days, Edwin Diaz has only had 2 appearances, his last one coming on Wednesday in San Francisco. The 0-2, slider outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. His fastball velocity has been down a little bit, a mile or 2 an hour on average this year so far. And there are a lot of possibilities as to why. The 1-2 pitch, slider fought off and fouled to the backstop by Arenado. That caught Tomas Nido on the mask too. And the count 1-2. Diaz has gone down the line with sliders here through his first 4 pitches. I think a lot of the velocity is, at least at the moment, being ascribed to the fact that, you know, he's still maybe a little on the rusty side after a year's layoff, and the fact that he has not had the amount of work that they might have anticipated might mean that he hasn't been able to get quite the build-up that they'd hoped, but it's all speculation. Here's the 1-2. And that's upstairs. A fastball at 98. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Saw Ryan Helsley closing for the Cardinals with triple-digit velocity the first 2 games of this series. Here's the 2-2. Check swing roller foul over by the Mets dugout. Another fastball, and that was at 97. So whereas Diaz routinely was throwing 99 to 101 or 102, In his signature year 2 years ago, he's not gotten to triple digits yet. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a drive deep to left, but it's going to hook foul. He got out in front of that fastball and hit it deep into the second deck near the restaurant in left field. That was listed as 98 miles an hour. Arenado is 0 for 3. Goldschmidt and Herrera to follow. 2-2 pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 3-2. 98 on that fastball from Diaz. And, of course, command. 4 walks in 8 2/3 innings so far. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball popped up, foul behind home plate. That was a slider that was up and in. And fought off by Arenado. Keep the count full. Overall, for Edwin Diaz, his 10th appearance. 1.04 earned run average. 4 out of 4 in saves. That's not on the table today in this tie game. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a slider. Mostly sliders to Arenado.
Yeah.
And he'll trudge back to the dugout. 1 man away. Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Thriving player of the game, brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, offering individualized quality care. Visit ThrivewellInfusion.com. That's got to be Jose Quintana after 8 great innings. Here's Goldschmidt. First pitch. Fastball over a called strike at 98. And the count 0-1. Goldschmidt has 2 home runs this year. The 0-1. In for a called strike. As a slider is over. So Diaz quickly ahead here. And boy, does Edwin Diaz love to work quickly. 0-2 pitch. Slider pounded foul over by the third base dugout. Ivan Herrera, the catcher, is due up next. Diaz to the belt. The 0-2. Slider away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 fastball to start him off. And then nothing but sliders over the next 3. Beatty deep at third near the line. The 1-2 pitch. Low outside. Another slider. And that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diaz from the first base side of the rubber. Brings those hands together. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's a dandy slider by Edwin Diaz with some late break. Still had some plate. It wasn't the one that sweeps down and out of the strike zone, but the break was just so late that Goldschmidt saw a fastball on the way, all the way, and instead the slider gets him swinging. So 2 out, nobody on, and the Cardinals are going to go to their bench here.
Alec Burleson's going to come on as the lefty pinch hitter for the righty Ivan Herrera.
Herrera, the catcher. And the first pitch on the way. Take it inside, ball 1. So if they've got to move Contreras behind the plate, they would lose their designated hitter because Contreras is the DH. The 1-0 pitch. Burleson fouls a slider straight back, 1-1. Don't forget, stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. 1-1 game. 2 out, nobody on, top 9. 1-1 to Burleson. Upstairs, a slider. And it's 2-1. Lars Nootbaar is on deck. Burleson DH the first 2 games of this series. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air, center field, not deep, right at Bader. Makes the catch. Side retired. Diaz works a perfect 9th, setting it up for Bader, Beatty, and Nito in the bottom half. Middle of the 9th inning. The Cardinals won.
too hard to sleep in this morning sun. It's too hard to sleep in this morning sun. When this hard day's done, I walk along the long green grass. I'm coming back where I belong. Where I belong. Days gone by, my oh my, I'm going home. Days gone by, I'm up on a high hill home.
Pedro Pajes takes over the catching for the Cardinals. 1-1, we start the bottom of the ninth. Harrison Bader fouls the first pitch straight back to the screen from Matthew Liberatore for strike one. So it's Pajes behind the plate. They don't have to give up their designated hitter by moving Contreras. The 0-1 on the way to Bader in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. So now it's the Mets looking to push that winning run across here in the ninth inning. Bader and then Beatty and then Nito are those due up here in the ninth inning. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. And the count 1-2. Good work by Edwin Diaz in the ninth. Non-save situation. Here's the 1-2. And Bader bounces it to the right side. The second baseman Gorman to his left has it and throws to first in time. 1 away. New York Mets run on Duncan. And with 1 out, nobody on, Brett Beatty due up, but Mark Vientos is going to hit for him in a lefty-righty move. So Mark Vientos, who hit very well at AAA Syracuse after not making the club out of spring training, got in yesterday as a pinch hitter for Brett Beatty in a lefty-righty move. Wound up getting a base hit his second time up. First pitch to Mark. Fastball over a called strike, and it's 0-1. Well, the Mets won, the Cardinals won. 1 out, nobody on here in the last of the ninth inning. 0-1 to Vientos. Swing and a miss. An 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Liberatore has gotten his first 2 batters to ground to second. 1 to end the 8th, another to start the 9th. Nito due up next, but it's J.D. Martinez on deck. The 0-2. In tight, almost hit Vientos in the leg. He backs away from the breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Mendoza's got his hand up to look at this, but it did not hit Vientos in that front foot, so no challenge for the Mets.
1-2. Here's the pitch to Vientos. Swing on a ground ball, right side base hit, going into right field. The winning run is on with 1 out. Vientos turns first and holds on with a pinch hit single. So he's making a bid with Beatty largely slumping to get a little more playing time, perhaps at third base, because the guy who's getting most of the DH at-bats is the guy coming up here now, but as a pinch hitter for the catcher, Tomas Nito, and that's J.D. Martinez. So again, Martinez one who hits a lot of balls the other way, and the Cardinals are going to play around towards right in the outfield against the right-hand batter. First pitch. Fastball is outside. Ball 1. Vientos not a fast man at first. Wouldn't really anticipate him running at any point here, other than should the count get to 3-2 if they want to try to stay out of the double play. The 1-0 on the outside corner. A fastball, a cutter, and it's 1-1. So J.D. Martinez, who has gone 3 for 8 since joining the Mets this weekend, ready for the 1-1 pitch. It's on the way, and it's hit high in the air to center, not deep. Ciani in a couple of steps, glasses on, makes the one-hand catch, and there are 2 men away. Hey, don't forget to stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. So with 2 men away, back to the top of the order now, and Brandon Nimmo with Vientos at first and 2 men out. Nimmo today is 0 for 4. Vientos not a big lead. First pitch, Nimmo skies it to left. Moving back is Donovan. He'll have a play backing up onto the warning track. He makes the catch to retire the side and will go to extra innings. In the 9th inning for the Mets, no runs ahead, 1 left. We move to the 10th at Citi Field.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Shane Bieber in this photo of Guardians fans?
I love Shane Bieber. He's a #1 starter.
And I think he's a true ace.
And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Number 9, the Guardians right-hander. Oh, he got him to go fish.
Heads up play by Bieber. He'll spin, throw to second, and they get it.
Bieber has been on a roll. That was just paint.
Next offering in there.
And there he is.
$89 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Well, we go to the 10th inning, which means the automatic runner at second base to begin things with the Mets and the Cardinals in a 1-1 tie. Pedro Pages will be the runner at second after being inserted in the game after Burleson flew out as a pinch hitter for Herrera. Mark Vientos stays in at third. The new pitcher for the Mets, Reed the Revelation Garrett, as we go to the 10th inning, Keith.
So Nootbaar stands in as the hitter. He's a left-hand hitter. Pages at second base. Infield around to the right. First pitch. Sweeper strike in there. 0-1. A little bit tongue-in-cheek, right? Mets needed some starting pitching to save the bullpen. They get the starting pitching, but now they have to go into extra innings and use some relievers. Vientos in at third. 0-1 on Nootbaar. Garrett peeks at second and fires home. And if it's dribbled fair along the first baseline, Alonso has it behind the bag. Leads Garrett with an underhand flip to first in time for the out there. Pages goes to third. So that's the leading run now, 90 feet away. Not the end of the world there for Nootbaar. He'd love to, of course, drive in a run with a base hit. But the go-ahead run is at third. And here's Mason Wynn. And the Mets are bringing the infield in. Wynn is his speedster, so something on the ground is going to be tough if the runner doesn't break for home. Garrett fires. Swing and a miss at a slider, and the count 0-1. Well, it would be nice here for the Mets and for Garrett is if he could dial up one of those strikeouts that he's dialed up to the tune of the league lead for relievers, 25 of them. Get the second out, move the infield back. 1-1 game in the 10th. 1 out, runner at third. The 0-1 to Win. Strike on the outside corner with a sweeper. That was some pitch for Garrett that just clipped the knees on the far side of the plate. And Laz Diaz with the fist pump to signal a strike. Infield is in, outfield straight up. Normal depth in the outfield. Runner at third. 1 out, 0-2. Here's the pitch to Win. Fouled at home plate. In and out of Narvaez's glove. That stays 0-2.
Wynn's got one of the best hard hit ratios in the National League so far. Of course, with that infield in, that benefits him even more.
Vientos, Lindor on the left side. McNeil, Alonso in on the right. Garrett set. Fires the 0-2. Struck him out. Ball in the dirt. Narvaez picks it up. Throws to first in time for the second out. Got him swinging on a split. So Pages stays at third. Garrett gets what he wants, that nasty splitter.
And here's Nolan Gorman, who the Mets are going to intentionally walk. And instead of facing him, they're going to face Michael Ciani. So by putting Gorman on, it is simply open yourself up to maybe pick up a run at second, an out at second base, on a force. There are 2 outs in the inning.
Even with 2 outs, they've got to be careful of the bunt here from Ciani. Get a bunt down, and he's got good speed.
The only run for the Cardinals today came in on a squeeze play back in the 5th. That was against Beatty. Vientos now at third base for the Mets. First and third for the Cardinals, 10th inning. The pitch. Hit hard, but foul down the first base line, right near old Stubby Clapp. And the count 0-1 on Ciani.
He doesn't look too stubby from here.
Well, he's a hockey player. Richard Keith Clapp. That's his full name. And I know that because that's the inverse of my name, Keith Richard Rat. One of those things that you just pick up along the way. 0-1 on Michael Ciani, left-hand hitter. The pitch. Swing and a miss at the split. Boy, Garrett right now looks good. He looks good, and he looks confident.
Yeah. That's the thing. He's feeling it, isn't he?
Well, he picked up a save in L.A. It was a pinch-me moment in his career. Not a safe spot here, but trying to strand the runners at first and third. Top of the 10th, 1-1 game, Mets and Cardinals. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Garrett from the belt fires away. Struck him out on a splitter. Reed Garrett does it again. He strands the go-ahead placed runner at third and Nolan Gorman at first. And the Mets can now win it with their placed runner in the bottom of the 10th. In the inning, no runs.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Savings you want? Get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Bottom of the 10th inning. Mets 1, Cardinals 1. Runner at second base for Francisco Lindor. First pitch. Swing and a miss at a high fastball from Matthew Liberatore. And the count 0-1. Reed Garrett did a job in the top of the 10th, stranded first and third. Cardinals did not score, so the Mets can win it right here on a walk-off. If Lindor or Alonso or Stewart, those the hitters due up, can bring in a speedy Nimmo, the place runner at second. 0-1 on Lindor, batting right. Pitch. Fouled back to the top of the netting behind home plate. Quiet day offensively. For the Mets, a run on 6 hits. For the Cardinals, a run on 3. But a good day for Lindor. 2 walks and the game-tying homer in the bottom of the 6th off Lance Lynn. Infield back. Outfield straight up. Liberatore holds his set. The 0-2. Popped up behind home plate and fades foul. There have been a lot of base runners today. The teams are a combined 0 for 22 with runners in scoring position. We have been on the edge of our seat all day and just waiting for that crescendo. 0-2, here's the pitch. Lindor rolls over foul, third base side, into the St. Louis dugout.
Well, you have to think that Alonso on deck will not get a chance to hit, certainly not against the lefty Liberatore. You would think whatever Lindor does, if the game's still going, they would put Pete on.
Small lead for Nimmo at second, kept close by Gorman. The 0-2. Popped in the sky, right field. Nootbaar racing over toward the line. He makes the catch on the run. Nimmo tagging, sprints to third. The throw is cut off by Wynn between second and third. A fly out to right. Nimmo gets a third. He's the winning run 90 feet away with one out in the bottom of the 10th. And here is Pete Alonso. So what do the Cardinals do here? Alonso has already flipped the bat. He's making his way to first.
Well, the question is, even though you've got a left-hand steward coming up, sometimes in this situation, you'll see a team walk the bases loaded.
Yeah, they do not care about anybody but Nimmo at third right now in a tie game 1-1. Taylor, the righty, is on deck. Then another lefty, McNeil. Liberatore, the lefty, going to face the lefty Stewart here. The middle infielders are staying back to try to get a double play. Wynn, the shortstop, is near the bag. Gorman against the lefty is deep at second. Goldschmidt holding the runner on at first. Arenado in at third. First and third. Pitch to Stewart. Hit hard to the right side. Gorman has it. Throw to second one. Turn to first. In time. Double play. Inning over. The Mets, with the winning run placed at second, do not score. 4-6-3 double play. We will go to the 11th, I believe. Mendoza, Carlos Mendoza has his hand up.
Hi there. I'm Rob McElhenney, co-chairman of Wrexham AFC. The people of Wrexham have shared with me their love of football, and I had a great idea to share with them my love of baseball by bringing all the things I love about it to a Wrexham game, literally. You guys know what baseball is?
I'm Matt Vasgersian.
And I'm Mark Griffiths.
We're here to call the balls and strikes. Just a bit outside. Time for the ceremonial first pitch.
Let's go to Wayne, who's standing on the pitch.
You mean throwing the pitch? He's standing on the turf.
No, Wayne owns the turf.
Well, I'm confused. Let's go to the great mascot race. And they're off.
Spoiler alert, Mrs. Met wins.
Runners at first and third. He swings, and that one's fouled way into the stands, and it looks like Dad is going home with a souvenir.
Oh, he can keep the ball.
And that means it's bongo time. Is that Jimmy Kimmel?
When did we get a Jumbotron?
One thing that football and baseball do have in common is exciting endings.
Here we go. It's the bottom of the ninth.
Nope, 90th minute.
There are two away.
With seconds left.
He digs in at the plate.
Penalty spot.
Here's a swing.
Limited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Off to the 11th. 1-1 game here. Cardinals will have the place runner Howie with the runner at second base, Michael Ciani, and Brendan Donovan to hit.
Donovan is 0 for 4 today. Vientos shortens up at third. Left-hand better. Reed Garrett's first pitch. Breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. He started his hands but didn't go around. Narvaez wanted to ask Eric Bacchus, who basically said, leave me alone. 1-0 the count. The outfield straight away. Lindor making noise behind the runner Ciani at second to keep him close. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging a liner to right field. That's a base hit. Ciani goes to third. He's going to be waved home. Taylor up with a ball. Throw to the plate. Cut off by Alonso. The run scores. Now they've got Donovan in a rundown, and Lindor tags him about 25 feet from second base. So the Cardinals get the lead, but they do not get benefit of the base runner after having taken the lead, as that ball was cut off, and so the putout on Donovan goes 9-3-6, but Ciani scores on the hit by Donovan, and it's 2-1 St. Louis.
And Ciani really did not get a great jump. He was almost moving back from his lead towards second as the ball was hit through the right side, so he had to run the longest of ways from second to home to score, but there was no throw there.
Yeah, I was mildly surprised they sent him. Wilson Contreras fouls one back to the screen, 0-1. So, a rarity. For the first time today, somebody gets a hit with a man in scoring position. Cardinals were 0 for 10. The Mets are 0 for 13. The 0-1 to Contreras. Swing and a miss, unable to hold up at the sweeper. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So it is 2-1, but the bases are empty. That's a key here. The 0-2 pitch to Contreras is on the way. And it's low outside, 1-2. I mean, so often you see the visiting team score on the top of whichever extra inning it is. Generally, it's the 10th because you don't get a lot of very long games these days. But very often, if you can hold that visiting team to 1 run, then you're in a pretty good situation. But the Mets have not been able to do anything situationally at the plate. 1-2 the count. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside. 2-2. Now, watching a replay, Keith, I was surprised that Pop Warner sent Ciani around third with nobody out. And then the other question is, did that ball need to be cut off there?
I don't think so. I was also surprised to see that.
2-2 to Contreras. Garrett to the belt. Now the pitch. Check swing foul rolling over towards the Mets dugout. I mean, because, as you mentioned, Ciani got a late start, it looked like Taylor's throw was pretty well on line or close enough so that if they had let that ball go through, they would have had a great chance to get Ciani at the plate. As it is, even though the ball was cut off, Ciani slid in head first, and the throw never came to the plate. 2-2, the pitch to Contreras. Missed inside with a split, full count. So 1 out now here in the 11th. 2-1 St. Louis. Mets will have Taylor, McNeil, and Bader due up in the bottom half of this 11th inning. Payoff pitch, way outside, ball 4. So Contreras now is aboard with 1 man out. Second walk allowed by Garrett. The other was intentional. And that'll bring up a couple of big boys now in the Cardinals batting order. Nolan Arenado with Paul Goldschmidt behind him. Paid crowd today here at Citi Field, 30,980. 93636 were put out on Donovan at second. Here's Arenado. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Arenado today 0 for 4, so his streak of reaching base 25 consecutive games gets another chance here into extra innings. Contreras at first, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball popped in the air, shallow left, back calling for it, Lindor windmilling his arms. He makes the catch. 2 men away, he hurls the ball in, and the runner at first is going to be doubled up. Contreras, I think, thought there were 2 outs, and Contreras is out at first. As the ball comes into Alonso, he steps on the bag, and the Mets get a gift to get them out of the top of the 11th. However, the Cardinals took the lead. 1 run, 1.
Hi there. I'm Rob McElhenney, co-chairman of Wrexham AFC. The people of Wrexham have shared with me their love of football, and I had a great idea to share with them my love of baseball by bringing all the things I love about it to a Wrexham game, literally. You guys know what baseball is?
I'm Matt Vasgersian.
And I'm Mark Griffiths.
We're here to call the balls and strikes. Just a bit outside. Time for the ceremonial first pitch.
Let's go to Wayne, who's standing on the pitch.
You mean throwing the pitch? He's standing on the turf.
No, Wayne owns the turf.
Well, I'm confused. Let's go to the great mascot race. And they're off.
Spoiler alert, Mrs. Met wins.
Runners at first and third. He swings, and that one's fouled way into the stands, and it looks like Dad is going home with a souvenir.
Oh, he can keep the ball.
And that means it's bongo time. Is that Jimmy Kimmel?
When did we get a Jumbotron?
One thing that football and baseball do have in common is exciting endings.
Here we go. It's the bottom of the 9th.
No, 90th minute.
There are 2 away.
With seconds left.
He digs in at the plate.
Penalty spot.
Here's a swing.
For For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
We go to the bottom of the 11th. The Cardinals have a 2-1 lead over the Mets. Tyrone Taylor will bat with DJ Stewart, the free runner at second. Right-hand batter, the lefty Matthew Liberatore deals in a pop foul going back into the seats, first base side downstairs. It's 0-1. So the Cardinals scored the run to give them the lead in the top of this inning, but they also ran into 2 outs on the bases. And that could be a determining factor depending on how this inning progresses. The 0-1 pitch, outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Taylor, who is 0 for 4, twice having been robbed of a hit in left field by Brendan Donovan. Cardinals around towards right in the outfield. DJ Stewart leads from second. The 1-1 foul back to the screen. Big cut by Taylor. And the count 1-2.
Well, DJ Stewart's the pinch, or not the pinch runner, but the runner at second as the place runner. The only guy left on the bench is Joey Wendell, so not a super speedy choice there. And it's hard to go get that last bench player in a game that you never know when it could end.
Adam Ottavino is throwing again in the Mets bullpen. He'll be the pitcher if it goes to the 12th. 1-2 to Taylor. Stewart leads from second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a roller to the right side. It'll get the runner over. Gorman, the second baseman, has it. Throws to first in time. 1 man out, but it is a productive out for Tyrone Taylor because, again, now the Cardinals will have to move their infield in. And the batter is scheduled to be Jeff McNeil. You figure he'll hit against the lefty. Jeff hits lefties reasonably well, but he did ground out against Liberatore his last time up. So the Mets have had a runner thrown out at the plate in a similar situation with the infield in and a man on third. And here is McNeil now. The first pitch in the dirt, ball 1, including Taylor's ground ball out. The Mets are 0 for 14 with men in scoring position. Harrison Bader is on deck. Remember, Liberatore came into this game with 2 out in the 8th. He's worked the 9th, he's worked the 10th, and he's still out there. A 1-0 pitch. In for a called strike. A sinker at the knees. It's 1-1. Stewart, the runner at third. Arenado is even with the bag and off the line, but he's close enough with the infield in, so Stewart can't get too much of a lead. 1-1 pitch. McNeil lines it back to the mound, caught by Liberatore for the out. Liberatore, reaching in desperation, made the catch. Now there are 2 men away. And interestingly, had he not fielded that ball, it might have been fielded cleanly by Wynn. It did not appear, certainly, that Stewart had broken even a step, really, on contact. I don't know if that ball would have gone through or not, but a great play by Liberatore. And now there are 2 men away. The infield back for Harrison Bader. First pitch, grounded foul over by the Cardinals dugout. 0-1.
Wow, Liberatore gets out of this before that team flight to Detroit. Convenience store lottery ticket. Today is his day.
0-1 the count. Bader 1 for 4, the former Cardinal. The 0-1 pitch. Swing on a pop foul, right field side, slicing into the seats downstairs and out of play. And now the count is 0-2 on Bader. 0 for 15 for the New York Mets with men in scoring position today. Tying runners at third, DJ Stewart, 2 out. Last of the 11th, 2-1 Cardinals. Liberatore sets, the 0-2 to Bader. Swing and a liner over second base, hit center field. The Mets have tied the game on their first hit with men in scoring position today. They had been 0 for 15 until Harrison Bader delivers a 2-out single to center. We're all even again. It is 2-2. And now the Cardinals can start thinking about those 2 runs that they, or 2 outs really, that they ran into on the bases in the top of this inning.
Boy, went down to their last strike, last out. No big hits all day. Big sigh of relief for Bader.
Here's Vientos. First pitch, swung on and missed, 0-1. Now, of course, the question is, how much more does Liberatore have in his tank here? He's thrown 33 pitches, which is not a gigantic total. There's no safety net behind him on the bullpen mound for the Cardinals. 0-1, the pitch. Vientos fouls it straight down at home plate. It's 0-2. Well, however this ends, the Cubs will be here for the next 4 days. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. The Mets have come back twice to get this game even. Bader at first, 2 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Vientos takes low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vientos hitting in the number 8 spot. Omar Narvaez, a left-hand batter, is on deck. So Adam Ottavino now ready for an appearance that may very well be necessary. 1-2 to Vientos. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper up the third baseline, foul. So the count holding 1-2. What an excruciating afternoon, really, for both teams offensively, but especially for the Mets, who had been 0 for 15 with men in scoring position and down to their last strike when Bader came up with that base hit. He has a short lead at first, and now time called in the batter's box by Vientos. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Mets. Liberatore sets. Bader runs. 1-2 pitch. Pulled on the ground, foul over by the Cardinal and into the Cardinal dugout. Shadows now very visible on the field as the light stanchion above the third base stands. Pushed shadows out around the pitcher's mound. Hitter basically in sunlight. 1-2 pitch. Vientos hits it high in the air, right center, pretty deep. Ciani going back onto the track. At the wall, he jumps. It is gone! A game-winning home run for Mark Vientos. Put it in the books. The Mets have defeated the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 11th by a score of 4-2, and they are waiting to pounce on Mark Vientos at home plate as he flings his batting helmet back. And Mark Vientos, who started this season in the minor leagues, has hit a game-winning home run and has been escorted by his teammates towards the Mets dugout as he has given New York a 4-2 win and helped them salvage the finale of this 3-game series when they were down to their last strike. Mark Vientos wins it in the 11th. For New York in the 11th inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. The final score in 11. It's the New York Mets 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 2. Back to talk about it in a moment on the WCBS Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center specializes in more than 400 types of cancer, including the most important one, yours. What does it take to face cancer with confidence? It takes MSK. Visit msk.org/expert. Because where you're treated first matters.
Sloman's is offering a free home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, or a chronic health condition that requires IV medication? Check out ThriveWell Infusion. Say hello to state-of-the-art private luxury suites. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives, drip by drip.
Discover the legacy of luxury at Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura. With over 35 years of excellence, explore their latest